they believe in a higher power. And I think you need to find yourself and stop projecting that you don't believe and that you are incompetent to be a man yourself. Either man, and that's the most professional way I can do it. E-Man, I'm gonna tag E-Man in here. E-Man, you have your way.
Enough said. I want to hear his response.
Unmute yourself, Ignorant.
Pardon me.
Go ahead.
Is it for
We're
me?
waiting for your
Is it
response.
for me to speak or no?
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What I preface my statement at the beginning, and I always have to do this because men like him, they tend to get in their feelings about words, right? And what I said was these are the ideologies of the ignorant people who are in the world, and I'm simply speaking from a perspective. I understand that you're triggered by a lot of the words I said, but what I did was I gave you a perspective, and I'm sorry that it affected you. Hold on one second, my son. I'm sorry it affected you and hurted your feelings with the words, right? I simply gave you a perspective of how you're represented to the majority of the world, whether you like it or not. Then, as I said, I spoke of not being religious or being a part of those things at all. I spoke of ideologies and simply how the people who represent them are perceived to the populace. Right? You guys are the perfect ones. I'm speaking about the people who are ignorant, who are continuous to learn. Okay, and I'm telling you how you're perceived, whether you like it or not. You're perceived as weak men. Okay, to the populace. We look at men who can afford and actually have multiple women and have the money and access. Those are the ones who are winning. That's how the ignorant people look at it. Like the people who do what they want are the winners, not the people who follow behind people. You understand? You are the losers. Okay. White tea, regardless of what you think, Ethiopia, that means nothing. If a white demon give it to you, that means it's not good, regardless where it came from. If a white bleach demon hands it to you, that means it's bad. So I don't care where you got it from. You could get it from Ethiopia, Zanzibar, Afghanistan. I don't care. It's if a white man handed it to you, it's not right. And that's how the ignorant community. I'm almost done. 5 seconds. I know your men are triggered because you hear words that have truth in them, and you can't process truth because you've been programmed your whole lives, and you're really effeminate men in
What, what,
disregards
what,
of what you think.
Hold on, let me
I'm telling
respond,
you, I'm
Black
almost
Ant.
done. 3 seconds.
I,
I'm almost done. And in regards of what you feel, I'm giving you a simple perspective. This is not a dig at you guys, okay? This is a perspective of the community of the majority, and I land.
so let me respond, Black Man Unfiltered. So
go ahead,
first of
brother.
all, one thing we got to acknowledge is this ideology was created by DL men. This ideology not to be around women. It's crazy. The men who got the women, y'all tried to paint us in this life, and we listen to the rhetoric of the Rimbros. Separate from women. Be around men. And their whole ideology of what they're talking about is actually a reflection of DL. So they say, hey, let's actually let's actually say the men that actually got the women, the men that's actually with women and women are submitting to them willfully and not by force, those are the guys that are the problem. You can say whatever you want about that ideology. You know, one thing we know, it doesn't work because we're not the men complaining about getting women. You guys, with your ideology, are the men that's complaining about women and talking about women can't come together. So I really want you to understand is that you're really looking into the mirror. You're actually displaying the DL. This like the question that I want to ask you, sir. Why are you so obsessed with finding DL men? Like they're not like this idea. They're not even on my radar. So this question of you going through panel to panel, looking to find as many as DLs do. The question you got to ask yourself is, you really DL, brother?
And where's he from? Where are you from? Where's he from, Sharon? What do you say?
I think New York.
I'm
No, no.
here. If it can I speak for myself
Yeah,
or
where? Oh, yeah. Where are you from, sir?
that is non. essential to this conversation, sir.
Oh, you're afraid to say. So
No, no,
listen.
no. I
So
can tell you, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It
well,
grants
go ahead and tell.
nothing.
Well, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay. Sharon stated New York, sir.
You're from New York, and that's where you're originally from.
I'm gonna go on mute so that he can go on his
That,
diatribe.
that's where you're originally from, sir.
They say you from Atlanta.
I only repeat myself to people who aren't intelligent, so I'm assuming you're intelligent. So if Sharon said it and I said it, I don't see why I would have to reiterate, unless
Well,
my
okay,
mic isn't
right.
working.
No, no, your mic is working fine,
Okay,
and you
I'll
have
go
no.
back on mute again,
Okay, go back on
so
mute
you can
because you
talk.
have no control over your household because your children are very loud in the background and you can't even tell them to be quiet and sit down. So listen, let me start here. Let me say
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna come off of mute so you can hear my children not speaking. Go
Okay,
continue.
yeah, finally got some control. So listen, I think that the what we're living in today in this world, and I've learned this over being on YouTube for a long period of time. I think Sharon has changed a lot. So a lot of us, E-Man, our mindsets have changed over time, learning things as we go along. One of the things I see now is that a lot of men like yourself, you guys live in your own religion,
Hmm.
and that religion is projection.
Okay.
And so when
Is,
you
is it
guys
okay
speak
if I
from a place.
interject?
Sir, it's not okay if you interject. Okay,
Okay.
if I'm speaking,
I'm
and
just gonna
I
go
know,
on mute if you
yeah,
don't mind.
absolutely, that would be great. That would be a blessing to us
Okay.
all. So I think that the religion that you're living in is the religion of projection. And what a lot of people do that's in your case, and then you say what the world perceives. It's not what the world perceives. It's what you're fighting. And sometimes men are fighting themselves. And sometimes men, now we're finding out that men are fighting themselves because they're scared to be who they truly are. And if a man, and I'm going to tag on to what E-Man said because I think this is a good time to bring it up. If I, Black Men Unfiltered, is hopping from panel to panel, and I'm asking every panelist when I go up, where are the DL men? There's something in that has to be discussed. And so, sir, we would like to ask you on behalf of the real men, the men who are really want, don't have to ask them where they're from. They just tell you, and they're not afraid to talk about, their lives or where they're from. From the real men here, we're asking, why are you on this quest looking for men who are on the DL? Because if you're looking for DL men, you're on the wrong panel. I think you should go over to other panels. I think RuPaul has a live coming on later on today. Maybe you should participate in that. Maybe you should check the scheduling for RuPaul. Maybe you should go check the scheduling for the Magic Johnson's son. He's looking for men like you. They're all having a show. Could you go over there and see if they're having a show today? I don't keep up with the schedule. Maybe the guy that you're secretly cheating on your woman with, you could probably ask him the schedule of the men and the DL men. But and the reason I'm being disrespectful to you right now is simply because you disrespected me, Sharon, and E-Man, saying that because of our faith and because of what we believe, we're DL men. And again, I'll say this in closing.
That's not what I said.
And I'll say this, and you said we perceive to be DL. It's disrespectful to grown ass men who take care of their family. So I need you to hush while I'm still talking because I'm almost done. I'm about to land my plane here. So I hate it. I hate it. It pisses me off when men try to take real men who's really doing the damn thing, like E-Man, myself, and Sharon, who are taking care of our families, and you disrespect us, calling us out of our nature of who we truly are. But I'll say this in closing. Mr. Ignat, and you and the people who else perceive what you guys perceive, you are the biggest cowards. Because right now, DL, if I were to pass you in the street and I would notice you and I would say, listen, did you have something to say online? Could you repeat those two letters to me in a personal space? I guarantee you, and on Jesus of our Bible, that you would not say anything. You will humble yourself and you will continue to walk to the corner of the street to try to catch a taxi before you knew that what was going to happen to you next. And I rest my case. Email, you have anything else you want to say?
Oh my gosh, Sharon, can I speak now, please?
Sure, go ahead. Let him get in there. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Okay.
Once again, if anyone's really paying attention, if you listen to what I spoke, right, perception, right, is it doesn't mean that it's facts. When you hear words like DL, you can say that to me, but it doesn't offend me, right? Because I know I'm heterosexual. When I say that you're perceived away, it doesn't have anything to do with your religion. What I did was I showed you how the men who tend to bring up these things, they are perceived. And if you're an honest person and you're really honest with yourself, right? If you look into the world and in your own life, if you go to church, most of the men in the choir, they tend to be funny looking or acting. Let's just be honest. And Sharon, respectfully, and either man, you guys tend you have these traits, and that's all I said as a perception.
Wow.
And like once again, I'm almost finished. 10 seconds. Perception doesn't mean it's fact. Now, when a hit dog hollers, that's on the hit dog, right? And like I stated, if you're listening correctly, the people who tend to push these things, they tend to represent men, like the guy who say he don't want men's no more. So that's all I'm saying. Like I know you're hurt and you want to attack me because I'm telling you how you're perceived. As men, we need to come out of our feelings and understand that what people perceive doesn't make it facts.
Are
And
you prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared to? Are
I'm
you
digressing,
prepared to?
Sharon.
Right. Are you prepared to deal with men in a public setting in the speech that you're delivering now? Are you able to get in front of men like me, Sharon, and E Man and say you're perceived to be DL? Are you able to say that in a personal setting, or is the avatar as far as you're willing to go with it?
Is this a question right now, Sharon? Can I answer?
Yes.
He said, "Are you what? Are you what? Are you able
Uh,
to say what I said?
uh, no.
Am I
Are you
able to
able to
speak?"
get it? No. Let me say it in a more professional way. Are you
Hold on.
able in a public
Is it
setting?
okay if I answer you?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything repeated is ignorance. I thought you said that earlier, but go ahead.
No, I'm simply clarifying what I heard. That's all.
Hmm.
And you can correct me. All right.
Okay.
What I heard, and you can correct. What I heard was, are you able to speak these words to us in person? Is that what am I correct or yes or no?
Yes, that's the correct. That's correct.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
You have the floor. Now what?
And you're okay
Is
with
this
the
the tough? Hold up,
consequences?
hold up. Is this the tough? Like, is this the tough talk part?
Absolutely, absolutely not. No,
So what is
this
the
is this
like?
is
Do you
nothing.
understand how when you say
This is
things that
conversation.
mean nothing to the conversation, it simply is like
This is this is
it's what women
conversation.
do. It's something called
No, what women do is try to derail the conversation to make
hold
it
on. Let
about
me
them,
let me let
and
me
that's
get it
what you're
out.
doing
It's
right now, sir.
something called being passive aggressive. It's like just because I hurt
Hmm.
your feelings, you think I won't say it in your face. Have you ever been to pre-K where they say sticks and stones may hurt your bones, little buddy? You ever heard
Wow.
that? Have you ever heard that saying? Yes or
Hold
no?
on,
Yo,
hold on,
yo,
Yes.
Howard,
hold
hold
on
You
on,
one
have
hold
second.
on, yo.
I,
Let
you
me
hold
have
on one
heard
before.
that
second,
saying.
Kels. Hold on, because he didn't
I'm
address you.
still
Come
speaking to
Hold on,
on,
BMU.
yo.
hold on,
I
no.
Have
be
you ever heard
quiet.
that saying,
Hold on.
BMU?
I want to
Go ahead.
understand. Do you feel
Yes.
like you're on topic and you
Either man,
responded
can
to
he
our
answer and
conversation?
then you can go on, either man, please?
You
BMU,
said,
have you ever heard that saying? Yes or no?
have you ever heard that saying?
Yes,
E
sticks and
man. Oh,
stones
E
may
man.
hurt your
E man.
bone.
E man. E man. E man. Let him get it out. Go ahead, get it out, sir. Because we want to be respectful to you. But
No,
even though you're not,
I simply asked a question, that's all. And then you can go on after
yeah.
that. Like,
Everyone's heard that.
okay, I'll
I don't. Yeah,
digress
go
now.
ahead,
I'll
E
go on
man.
mute
Yeah,
so y'all
yeah.
can
Go
talk.
ahead, E man. Yeah, go
So
ahead, E
I
man.
so this is the part that I think that makes me question you. You came up here to be off topic to
Hmm.
talk about DL men.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't even responded truthfully to the topic. We
Can
don't
I
know
inter-
what you think about marriage.
can I
We don't.
interject right now?
No,
Because
sir.
he,
You can
he, he
wait
No,
till I
just
sir.
made a
finish
fallacy.
my
You
Absolutely
statement.
not.
stated a fallacy, and I can correct you now. Would you like to continue and then I'll correct later?
Yes, I would like to
Okay, okay.
continue. So my question that I want to ask you is, can you tell us? Because it's interesting to me to hear men speak from other people's perspectives. Because he said he's giving other people perspectives. My
Other, yeah.
question is, can you stand as a man and tell us how you perceive the topic that we're having today, and not speak from your fans or your being a fanboy of other people's topics? So again, what's on the table is we're talking about marriage without being a marriage currently, whether you do it through the state or without the state. And we also brought up men having multiple wives. So what is your ideology, not someone else ideology on these subjects?
Is it my turn to speak, Sharon?
Hmm.
I don't, and this is the problem with when people's feelings get involved. They tend to not hear anything that was stated. Literally, if you're listening in the back, I literally spoke about everything he just stated. So it's like he wants me to reiterate what I stated myself, what I said. So I'm not, okay, I'll do a little synopsis just to kind of catch the people who didn't catch it. All right. The beginning of my statement, I stated these are the opinions and the thoughts of Ignorant TV and the people who are ignorant, the ignorant family, the ignorant community, who's majority of the world, who is on a continuous level of learning, right? I stated the reason we do not agree for the most part with marriage and a lot of these things is because the representatives, I don't know if y'all heard it. I'm saying it again, the representatives of the Bible, marriage, these things, they come off to the populace, these men who tend to represent these things. And as I stated before, if you were to be honest with yourself and you went to church and you've seen the people who represent these things, do they have the characteristics of men's who don't like men's no more? Like the guy who made that video. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it.
Uh, Ignorant TV, are you married?
Is this a question, Sharon, while I'm speaking?
Yes.
Okay,
Are you
I'll
married?
answer now because he was asking a question. I was answering for
It's
the
your show,
crowd.
Sharon. Ask her a question.
I'm gonna answer it because
Yeah.
now we're on another.
Yes.
Y'all
Answer.
gotta pay attention,
Are
everyone.
you
I'm gonna answer
are you
yes.
married?
Now I'm gonna go on mute again, so because I'm sure stuff is coming after.
And what religion did you get married under?
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I don't want to speak about what my religion I got married under. I don't believe that has any
Oh.
consequence. Hold on. Can I finish? Is it
This is
okay if I
fun.
finish?
This
Is it
is
okay?
funny. This is
Hold
fun.
on.
This is hilarious.
Hold on. Listen. Listen, man. Don't get triggered. I understand your feelings are in play right now because you're speaking to someone who's intellectually dominating you. But relax.
Sharon, I
I'll
got
answer
married
the
under
hold on,
Christianity,
Sharon.
Quran.
Sharon, let me answer the
E-man, what you get
question
married
so
under?
that
E-man, what
hold
you get
on.
married under?
Hold on. Let me answer the question so that you can create a
Christianity.
narrative.
Oh, okay.
Let
We're not
me
ashamed of our
can I
religion.
We're not ashamed.
please can I please answer the question, y'all? Please.
This nigga.
Okay. He would like to
Well,
know
stop
what
saying we trigger
religion.
when nobody's acting. Please stop saying we
Oh
trigger
my
when
god.
nobody's
I'm gonna go
acting
on
trigger,
mute. I'm gonna
please.
go on mute.
Yeah, what religion? Don't run from this question, sir. Please. We really need to know.
Yeah.
Can you hear me,
So go
Sharon?
ahead. So what religion was you married under? Go ahead, Ignorant TV. Go ahead,
Can you hear
Ignorant.
me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. Technically, right? And I don't
Oh.
know if anyone knows this, right? To be married, technically, you need two witnesses, right?
Mm.
Right.
That's not the
Hmm.
question.
Yes.
So
Go
hold
ahead.
on. Can I finish?
Hmm.
Can I
Go
please
ahead.
finish? Now, technically, to be married in America, you only need two witnesses. You don't have to go to a white man's system. You don't have to say Jesus Christ and Holy Mary, a mother and aunt, actually, to be married, y'all. So I
Okay.
don't have to be married under a religion to be married as long as I have two witnesses to be present. Do you understand?
False.
That's the answer to the question.
So,
I'm going on
so,
mute because I know y'all got a bunch of more stuff
so,
to create. You know,
where do you get that ideology from?
the ideology of what, great sir?
That you just
Marriage.
need two witnesses and you can be married. You and your wife both have the same ideology. Where did you get this doctrine from?
I don't know if you heard me, but I stated technically in America.
Oh, the
So that
white
means
man. Oh, the white man.
hold on. Can I finish? Well, I'll just go on mute
Yeah.
because I guess
Yeah,
I'm gonna
take
let
your
y'all.
ass on mute. We ain't got
So,
time to play with you. Look, you
so
fake as fuck, bro.
is
No, hold
that
on, hold on. Let me
is
get raw
that
with him. He fake as fuck. He on here talking about white ideologies, and he got married under one. Get him on. Get him. How much is to get him off of here? He fake as fuck. He gonna come on here and talk about white ideology, white Christianity. He want to talk about white, 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 and he married his wife under the same regimen that all everybody else did under the white
I
man.
never stated that though. If you listen, I don't, and this is the
Oh, get him
problem
out of
with
here.
Sharon. Can I
It's,
just finish? Can I make a
yeah,
10
it's
second?
$20 to drop. We usually charge $20 to drop, or more if you like. Go ahead, Ignorant.
Okay. I
So
never
so
said
you
it
got
had
married,
anything to.
like, so you what you call spiritually married?
Okay, now I'm repeating
Ignorant.
myself again. In America,
Man, this
in
dude trash,
America,
bro.
in America, you only need two witnesses to be technically married.
Who created that?
So you can hold on, please, sir. In
Yeah, he ain't gonna answer.
America, in America, you
He ain't
only
gonna
need
answer.
two witnesses to be married. It doesn't have to be underneath a white man's Bible or anything. Like, marriage in America is a business, right? So I don't think y'all really understand the concept. And I'll digress right here.
Who
I got it.
created
So
the?
before I leave, hold on,
Oh,
1 second,
go
one
ahead.
second.
Go ahead, you man.
Did you file your marriage inside of the white man's system?
No, sir. And you didn't ask how many wives. You don't know anything. So it's like we're sitting here. Y'all trying to.
So you said
What
no.
you're
He's
So you
doing
do
is
not
you're
have a
trying to
marriage
hold on.
license,
Listen.
correct? No, because
Can I
you're
say
trying to
something?
talk about something different. No, because you're
Hold
trying
on.
to answer my
I'm
question.
speaking. I'm
Are
Hey,
you
speaking.
hold a
saying
minute,
that
I'll
E
you?
answer
man.
your
Hold a
question.
minute, E man.
You're
Hold a
cutting
I
me
minute.
get it.
off.
I get you
I'm
trying to
gonna go
talk
on
about
mute.
your four or
I'm
five
done.
wives. I want to ask a question. Your first wife, did you actually file it in America? Because you keep asking America as the standard. Did you file a certificate of marriage with the state?
So now these men are trying to validate me through white men. Do
He
y'all
ain't
No,
gonna
no,
answer.
no,
understand what's
He
no.
not
happening?
gonna answer.
See,
Do
I
y'all
told
understand
you,
what's taking
hold
place?
these
E
men
man, we
These
got
accountable.
him.
DL
We got him,
men
E
are
man. We
trying to
got him.
validate me
We
through
got
white
him.
men.
We got him.
I
We got him.
digress.
We got
I
him.
told you,
We got him.
you gotta
He
hold these
triggered.
men accountable to what they
He,
say, bro. They just say whatever they want, and they
and
say,
Sharon
"Hey,"
just said it.
and and
Sharon just said it.
and BMU said the biggest thing. He said, "This is their religion of projection. This is their religion. They have
Mm.
created another religion, and they literally projecting from internet panel to internet panel. And what it really is he's really looking at the beam in his own eye."
Woo! What up, plug?
So I just asked the question. The question that you got to ask you is, are you the hypocrite that you're accusing us of being?
Yep.
Woo!
I said it. I said it. I said it earlier.
That's
I'll be back.
Hey, I'll be back too, man. Sharon, try to walk him back through the healing after this ass whooping we just gave him. I'm back to work, sir.
Is it time for me to speak or no?
um sure. You want to just keep it short and concise. So good. Oh, okay. He dropped
Damn, yo, he
himself.
dropped
So.
down. He dropped himself.
Mhm.
Damn,
Mhm.
it was cooking, barbecue grill, mixing it
I
up.
think he back. He just probably had a phone call or something
Oh,
like
come
that.
on, bro. Go
Yo,
ahead.
can you hear me, Sharon?
Yeah. So yeah. So it is what it is. Like hey, BMU might be on to something. Y'all got a new religion, the religion of projection. It's crazy.
Can I speak to that, Sharon, if you don't mind?
You
Can
can
you hear
try.
me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Um, and again, that's the thing, and I stated at the beginning, right? Most of society, we don't go off of these things that people or white people make up. So you can't tie me to white people's stuff if I'm married through what I'm married through, and it has nothing to do with them. Like if I believe in having a bunch of wives and doing me, you can't tie me to their stuff, right? Because I'm doing me. And as I stated
No
before,
problem. How many wives do you?
hold on,
How many
hold
wives
on,
do you have?
hold on, Sharon. Can I let's start a conversation, bro. You can't jump in while I'm speaking.
I'm attempting to. Yeah, I'm interjecting within the conversation. I'm curious to understand so we can have a clear understanding. How many wives do you have?
I don't want to speak on that right now, Sharon, about wives and things like that, because we have to understand. I'm gonna tell you my ideology. We don't, in the ignorant people of the world, we don't go off of white tea people's stuff. So if I got
That's
10
fine.
wives,
So
if hold on, listen,
that's fine. But the
listen,
problem
Sharon,
is
can I
that
just
you
say
are
this, please?
talking, the problem is you are communicating to me in hypothetical because nobody understands what this ignorant thing, this ignorant foundation that you have, does it have a book?
Can I
Does it have
can I
followers?
can I explain it?
I want you to answer what I'm saying, not just give me things that I can't verify.
Okay. What I'm speaking on is the men who do what they want in life. Okay, and we do what we want, and the people who don't do what they want, you want to put us all in a box because you're in a box, right? The men who do what we
No, that's
want.
wrong.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop right now. I'm gonna go on mute because
Yeah, because you asked the question, you said right. You're wrong. What makes you think that I'm not doing what I want?
what do you mean, Sean?
What gives you the idea that I'm not doing what I want?
Did I ever say that you weren't doing what you want?
That's what you are insinuating, yes.
No, what I'm stating is the
You
men
said
who,
men like me, we
yes,
could do
that,
what we want. So you
no, no,
saying
no.
I'm not a man like you, correct?
Yes, because what I'm saying is the way I do stuff isn't how you would do stuff. So to you,
Okay,
it's
so therefore, why
abnormal.
do you believe?
That's what I'm
Okay, so
saying.
now that I got you to actually admit it, I'm glad that you started to be a man. You can admit something. Why do you think I'm not doing what I want?
Well, technically, if you were to be honest with yourself, right? Let's say if you could have 10 women, would you do that?
No,
So this is the part where it's like, this is where I say like, there's men who are different, who live in abundance. We don't think like that. Like you think one woman is good, right? That's good. That's good for you, right? I'm
I
just
think I
giving
got
a
exactly. I asked you a question you're still not able to answer. What makes you think I don't got what I want?
no. The question was, what makes you think I don't do what I want? And then I asked you, hey, Sharon, if you could have more, would you not take more or less? And you said I would
And
take
I
less.
said no.
So
I said I
that's the
do not
part.
want 10 women.
Okay, that's the part where
So
we're on two different planets, right?
that's fine, but I'm choosing the planet that I want to be on. What makes you think that I'm not choosing that?
Because most, and I'm only speaking for the majority, right? And I got to speak for the ignorant people because we're different. Most people believe that more is better.
Yeah, but you're talking about relationships. You're not talking about more money, more life, more money. You're talking about more relationship. Majority of men cannot deal with multiple women.
So now you're going with the can or which, because we first we started with, remember, if you remember your question
Okay,
was,
I don't know what you're confused about, but I was very precise in my words. Majority of men cannot deal with multiple women.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you don't, do you understand how you changed what you just said, right? We went
I'm gonna
from,
say it again.
no, no, I
Majority
understand. You
of
don't have to.
men. So
Sharon,
this way you don't have to worry about me switching up anything. So we can have a conversation on what I'm saying right now. Majority of men cannot deal with multiple women.
according to what and who?
according to how society is moving.
So because of how society is moving, you believe majority of men cannot deal with most more women, right? That's what you said.
Correct, because they don't have they have horrible they have horrible leadership skills. They have horrible communication skills. They could barely communicate with one woman. How are they going to do it with two?
Can I ask you a question, Sharon?
No, you can answer mine first.
Okay, your question is how they can't. What was the question? They can't. It wasn't a question. Do you know that? How they gonna deal with two? Is that
Right.
the
I want you to address the statement I said. It don't have to be a question for you to address me.
okay? Do you mind repeating that last part?
I do.
All right, I didn't. I would like. I didn't hear it. So if you could repeat it, that's what for
It's
clarification.
okay. You don't actually clearly you don't actually have an answer. Um
No, I'm trying to hear what you said. I know you don't. Can you just, if you don't mind, kills? Did you hear the last part he said?
why you asking somebody else when I'm talking to you?
Because you just said you don't want to repeat it. That's why.
All right, then. So therefore, do you think it's Kill show or is it my show?
So now you asking about the show. I'm trying to get clarification what you said, buddy.
Right. You are not trying to get clarification. You're just trying to talk.
If I'm
I'm
asking,
attempting to have a discussion with you and see where we disagree at, but you are not able to communicate your ideology. So therefore, there's nothing for us to talk about if you're not willing to discuss your ideology and where you get this ideology from and how does it work. You're not able to communicate none of those things.
is it that I'm not able to communicate, or you're not able to understand what's being spoken?
You have not communicated it. I attempted to have the conversation with you.
I mean, unless you can't hear what I'm saying, Sharon, I'm communicating everything
So where do you get your ideology from?
from me.
Right. So it's nothing that I can verify
You actually can,
because
Sharon.
you could change it. You could change it tomorrow. It doesn't come from anything. You don't have no sound doctrine to back up your ideology. You said it came from me. So tomorrow it could be something completely different, and you're gonna say it came from me.
But that's your opinion, right?
No, that's
What
what you just communicated.
I can tell you
It's
my
not my opinion.
ideology. It's simple. Most men, whether
I
you,
actually I asked you your ideology. Where can I look up your ideology?
I mean, you could look into the world. Most men want more women. Like that's just a
No,
fact.
most men say no, most men say
Whether
that, but
they
that's not what they
can,
want.
okay, whether they can have it, that's another subject, right? Because that's where you
No,
went.
no, that's not another subject.
Yeah, that's where you went. Once I told you that most men want more, you said, well, they can't have more. And I said, why? You said society. So
Right.
you're going.
Society is telling me, right. So society, so this is what you can understand. Society tells me that majority of men cannot communicate effectively enough to have more women. Because the men that I communicate with on a day-to-day basis, like yourself.
I understand that, but the beginning was want, like you asked.
Right. So now
Do they?
instead of you want to
Hold
go
on.
to the beginning, right?
No,
Instead of
because
addressing what I'm saying now, right?
I'm
And this is
literally
the problem that
addressing
a lot
what
of
you're
men
saying.
have, right? This is bad communication, right? We having the conversation, it's
No,
moving forward. You want to go backwards in the conversation.
what you don't get is you keep changing our conversation. So
I
I'm
am not.
addressing.
I'm attempting to understand. And all this time, I'm asking you what your ideology is. And the only proof of your ideology that it came from me. I cannot argue. I cannot have a discussion about what comes from you because you could change it whenever you want to. It's not something
Sharon.
I could discuss.
So where does your ideology come from?
Why are you asking me that? My ideology is not on display. It's yours that we was trying to have a conversation about. And this is more of your liar language. You want to try to change the conversation to something else. Instead of being a man and say, "This is where I got my doctrine from."
Sharon, my doctrine literally comes from me, observation, perception, life, living. It comes from me. It comes from my stance. So
Okay.
that's
And
where it
as
comes
long as
from.
it comes from, as long as it comes from there, I cannot have a conversation with you about it because it could, like I said, because it could change in 10 minutes.
So where does
So
yours come
therefore,
from?
I can.
Because if yours doesn't change, I want to know where does yours come from.
Right. So let me welcome into the show. Shout out to Taiwas. Then we got Kulu, and then we got Chris J.
Hey, you can let Kulu go first real quick. I'm picking for you.
Go ahead, Kulu. Go ahead, Kulu. You got to unmute yourself, Kulu.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I definitely disagree. Good, good, good. How are you? But I definitely disagree with what the dude is saying about his ideology and things like that. Um, but you know me, Sharon, I do believe that men should be able to have multiple wives legally, um, if they choose and if they do it the right way. But my whole like a point of contention is I think that when BMU and Edelman was talking about Christianity, I think that that's kind of what messed our community up, man, is Christianity. I think that when you look at the periods of time to where we as a community practice majority of Christianity, it's never benefited us as a religion to make us better, to to make our lives better, to make our families better. I don't think even back like before segregation, it didn't make us better. Slavery, when we were forced into Christianity, didn't make us better. Today, when you got men practicing Christianity, it's not making us better. So I think that it's time for the black community to leave Christianity in the past and maybe develop a new religion or a new spiritual system that we can apply today.
Mm. Christopher J.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree. Uh, you could say Christianity may not work for you. I'm just speaking in general. You could say it doesn't work for you, but to say it doesn't work as a whole, there's no way you could substantiate that. It's not to put down anybody who's Buddhist, anybody who's Muslim. You find what works for you and you apply it. And sometimes when people say certain things don't work, it's only because they want their cake and eat it too, instead of adopting a new philosophy. You're kind of play both, you're trying to hold on to one end and hold on to the other and say, maybe I can make it work, maybe I can get the results, but you're not getting the results that you're looking for on both sides. So you pick a side and you stay there and you adopt the ideology all the way through. You don't pick and choose, you don't cherry pick. That's why people continue to mess up. And whatever path they go along, it could be religious, it could be politics, it could be anything. Pick a side and stay there. That's number one. And number two, regarding the whole idea of multiple wives, hold up, hold up, mic check. Can y'all hear me? Because it's Sharon on mute. Oh, okay, my bad. So, and also with the multiple wives things, if you can, like, go right ahead, I guess. However, if you're struggling, especially you want to look at the numbers, if you're struggling to handle one wife, why would you add two or three or more? Get the one fixed first. Prove that this is efficient, then we can entertain the idea of bringing in a second person. But if you're fucking up on one, why would you want to fuck up two?
Agreed.
You see, can I give them like an example on why religion for our community doesn't work? Because ever since we adopted Christianity, black men and black women has never ran the world. Back when black people ran the world, we didn't have Christianity. We believed in completely different things, practiced completely different things. And as soon as we adopted this Christianity, we've been the bottom of the barrel ever since. So that's my example.
Yeah, and I believe we look at things as negative because that's how we're trained. If everything is good, you wouldn't look at it as a negative, right? But because we look at relationships as mostly bad, we look at it as problematic to have more than one. But if you were living in a place of pleasant and fruitfulness and joy, you wouldn't think that way. And the men who do what they want, most of society have problems with them. Men and women, they have problems with men who do what they want in the world. It's truly abnormal. So it creates frustration. I digress.
So Kulu, um, there's people who are not operating in religion and they're still failing. Most people nowadays will tell you they're not religious. Matter of fact, you hear more people say, I'm more spiritual than religious, which I think they're liars because they're neither religious or spiritual, but that's just my opinion that I'll prove later. However, if more people are not operating in religion or spirituality and they're doing whatever they want and we're still failing, it's safe to say it's not religion. That's first and foremost.
Fact.
And to what the gentleman said, if the results saying this is negative, then it's negative. So now I will then expound the conversation to say what number that it needs to show on the chart to say this is succeeding and this is failing. Maybe that's a part of our conversation. Uh, Maybe we could dive into later. However, if you want to look at the marriage rates, A, it's bad. If you want to look at the divorce rates, bad. I'm hearing it's lowering. Glory to God,
They're
but
all
it's still
subjective, though.
bad.
If you look at the rate.
Well, that's why I said we'll get to the numbers. We can get to the numbers so we could go ahead and quantify that and make this objective versus subjective. I'm all about objectivities. Find a foundation and stick to it, so that way everything can make sense. It leaves room. It leaves no room for any gray areas.
Exactly.
Now, as far as people doing what they want, there's nothing to say about that. You can do whatever you want. However, there's a lot of people that would love to do whatever they want, but they can't. Let's not manipulate them. And by putting up this facade, uh, this is the results. These are the end results. This is how my life is living. However, there's steps that you got to lead to get to that result. You're trying to go straight to the end. No, that's how everybody crashes and burns. I've never seen a successful moment where someone saw the end goal and went straight to the end without burning everything along its path. I have yet to
But
see that in 38
let me
years of living.
rebuttal 2 points real quick, right? So the
Yes,
point
sir.
about marriage rates, right? And I'm assuming you're speaking about the black community, right? And we practice our relationships different than other communities, right? So we may not go and get legally married, but there are a bunch of black people I know, family members, etc., that have been together 10, 15 years, but never got actually married or never
Exactly.
actually went to the state. That's a marriage. You know what I mean? They have kids, they got a family. They just don't do it through the state. So to say that marriage, like the marriage statistics prove that we're failing, I mean, I kind of disagree because, how many of those marriages aren't being reported in our community that are successful, that didn't get
Exactly.
legally married? So that's my first point. My second point is that it still has not been refuted that whenever we took on Christianity, we have never ran society. We have never actually, owned the world like we used to, you know. And if you look at all these African countries that practice Christianity, they're all failing. You know what I mean? So that's my contention of like, I guess my point is that if we just adopt a new spiritual system, a new ideology that makes sense, that that we could all like believe in, I think that would improve our situation and help us, rise up. Like if that makes sense.
Well, what, I
Um,
don't believe I'm going to agree with Diva right now. What do we run at all, regardless of the spiritual system?
Wait, say it again.
because
What
yours in and
are
out.
we running at all, regardless of the spiritual system? I'm quoting Diva right now, ironically.
As of
Yeah,
right now, nothing.
yeah,
I
No,
mean,
but
we have,
no,
we have some
period.
people.
Hey,
that was my ultimately my point.
Yeah, but y'all look at it from, so this is after Christianity. This is after being colonized, right? But if you go prior to that, when we had our own spiritual systems, when our own deities looked like us, we ran society. We own all these continents. We ran the globe. But as soon as we started adopting this new way of thinking, this new spiritual system, look at the place that we're in. We're bottom of the barrel in every category, and have been
so,
ever since.
so I just want to make sure I understand this. we ran the world, and then people who believed in what I would probably deem a false idol, right? Based on what you're saying, they came and then took it. So we didn't really run it if somebody else was able to just come in and take it. Because if you're
Exactly.
actually in control of something, you don't just lose it that easily.
Yes, yes, you can. Uh, like a shadow, like you're in charge and you run your marriage, right? But another dude who looked better, who's taller, got more money, can come and take that shit. That don't mean you didn't have control of it at one point.
You missed this
See,
point.
So
so here's where that
just
argument
because you
fails,
lose
right?
something, that means you didn't have control of it. Yeah.
No. So here's where that argument fails.
Mhm.
Because I lead and because I'm in control, I'm not even at risk of that loss. What you're saying,
Hold on 1 second. This is somebody I seen for the very first time. Justin B. Good day.
Hello. I know that this is more of a conversation, by you guys, for you guys. I just wanted to get a couple of things, just to get a little bit of a definition. A couple of questions I had real quick. When you're saying, that there are lots of people out there that are married, but not through the state, what are you defining as a marriage? Because as I understand it, a marriage is a contract between two people so that you're promising in the eyes of the state and your God to take care of, etc., to support, to honor, to defend. If you're only doing that in the eyes
of the state, so
right, but then it's not a contract then, right? So it's not enforceable. It doesn't exist, right? I can write, I owe you $1 million.
between two individuals with
So what is common law marriage?
witnesses.
Right, no. Hold on, I agree. I agree. It's a contract between two people.
So we can address it.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
It's a contract between two people, but that's not what a contract is. A contract is between two people that's enforceable by the by a third party.
Anybody want to respond?
Yes, I want to respond. So, what is common law marriage?
Common law marriage was was something that happened during a time where, all right, let's just go with that. Common law marriage is when you accept that a marriage exists based on a set of facts, like living and pooling your resources. And in doing so, that's through the state.
So are there people that don't go to the state, right? That don't get the court, like the courthouse or a ceremony, that are legally married due to common law marriage?
Well, they wouldn't be legally married. They would be recognized as married in effect.
So the state recognizes them as married because of the common law, right? Of them living together
in some circumstances, but that's not applicable in all states. There are many states that don't allow common law.
Let's just take that notion, right? That other aspect, and let's apply that to the Black community. There's millions of Black families that live together, that have kids together. They just don't go to the courthouse, or they just don't go to, a ceremony. But they're married. They have children. They have family. Their resources. They got properties.
What's the benefit of that, though?
It's the same thing as you you benefit like doing it the right way or the legal way.
Well, hold on. The benefit of having a legal marriage is that I can inherit through my wife. I can give to my wife without taxes. I can pass my resources to her without any interference from other people. I can be her power of attorney if she gets sick or ill and is in a hospital. You can't do any of those with a common law marriage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I'm not gonna sit here and argue like the benefits of doing it legally versus common law, but
right. So I would ultimately call that not a marriage, right? I understand you're in a committed relationship, but if it has the same benefits and powers as a girlfriend, it's not a marriage.
Hold on. But does the state view them as married?
No, in most cases, no. You may be able to argue for an exception, but that's not in most cases.
So you're telling me that a couple that been together 15 years, that lived together, that got kids 15 years old, the state would not view them as common law married. Whether
there are many states that don't. Yes.
Hold on, but like when you say many, the majority you're talking about.
I don't know for sure. I don't know if it's many or most. I know it's a lot. Many.
Okay, so the fact that one state.
Wait. What did he just say? What did he just say? There's 8.
There's only 8 states, to my knowledge. 8. There's only 8 states. Texas being one of them.
Right, and I'm in Texas, so
That's
um, yeah. So there you go. That is far less than many. I mean, 8 would be like way less than half.
Well, I would have to verify it, like my own, like to give you that point.
Fair enough.
But
Fair
my
ence.
biggest
And
thing is,
I'm only saying let's
yeah.
It's okay.
for
Well,
sake of argument.
let him
Sorry.
respond,
Yeah.
Justin. Let him
Yes, my
respond.
biggest
Go
point
ahead.
is real quick is that uh, whether it's the state recognize it, it's what like whether it's legally, you still have black families that are together is to this day that just don't go out and get a courthouse license or go out and get a ceremony. They don't have the money, or like whatever it may be. They don't believe in it,
Well,
but they're still together as a family to this day, right? So to use marriage rates as a sign of failure in the black community, to me, like you can't really do it because you have so many families that don't get
right.
married the legal way that don't report. You know what I mean? So it's
100%.
like,
I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that. Do you know where I think that came from?
where?
The welfare state, right? Not implying that it's all about welfare, but that the government supported the ideas through feminism to remove fathers from the household so that the state you could become a dependent of the state. The state will give you health care, the state will give you money, the state will give you food stamps, the state will give you this, the state will give you a scholarship, the state becomes dad. You become married to the state.
But
Well, I don't know if I agree with.
oh,
Yeah, it was real quick. I don't know if I agree to that. You know what I mean? Entirely. I just think that a lot of people just don't have the time, the money, the resources to go out
$25.
and perform a ceremony. Hold on, to go out and perform a ceremony or get off work and go to a court order, like the courthouse to do it. I just think people just don't want to do it. You
It's
know what I mean?
$25.
Yeah, but still, like you have to go out to the courthouse. You got to drive up there. Like you got to
Takes
submit a bunch
20
of
minutes.
paperwork. It's like it's a lot of stuff that
Let him
people just
finish.
don't want to do. So
Takes
they would
20
rather
minutes.
just stay together. Yeah, I know like what you're saying, but people just don't want to do that. Just like how like majority of people just don't vote in this country, even though it'll take an hour, 2 hours at a time, right? And it affects your
Sure.
life. A lot of people just don't want to do it. But just because
Well,
they choose not to do it doesn't mean that their marriage isn't successful or their relationship isn't successful, even though they've been in for 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? So
100%.
like to use
I will grant you all of that in the sense that your relationship is not a failure because you're not married, but it isn't a marriage. By definition of having the protections of a marriage, the benefits of a marriage, you may have the
benefit?
personal benefits, but you don't have the state sanctioned benefits. The ability to pass money between your family members without tax, the ability to pass property.
Yeah, but if the state has the ability to change the laws on that,
They
then
don't.
you know what I mean. So, but then that means the state controls your marriage, right? If they can change the laws or the tax laws and like give you less or not, is give you anything, right? Like they give you that to incentivize people to get married. So the fact that the
Of
state
course.
can change the laws to make your marriage be beneficial or negative, you know what I mean? To me, it's like,
Well,
is that really a marriage, or are you
okay,
doing
so
it for the benefit?
Well, so I'll grant you that. I don't believe it's the state giving you the benefits to get you to marry. I think it's that they're giving people who've married the benefits as an incentive to have that. Okay, so the idea being the government supports marriage because it supports religion. I would argue that, and if you want to go that route, that's fine. If you're saying you're going by the way of anti-religion, great. So take advantage of the marriage for the monetary gain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm married through the legal system, right? So I get the benefits.
Sure.
But my argument is that in our community, the black community specifically, our culture is just different. So while white culture or other cultures may go through the state, of their country,
Sure.
we
But
just
so
don't do that.
why is it that way in Africa then?
Successful relationships, in our community,
So-
just because we
so-
don't make it fit.
So flip side of that, why is it that way in Africa? Every single country in Africa minus 2 has state marriages.
Well, can I ask? I think that somewhat ties in, but that is a different country all in all. But if we just talk about Black people's history, it's not traditionally speaking, Kulu. Black people in America, it's not traditional for us to get married.
You talking about the jump the broom?
No, I'm talking to Kulu. He was saying that, as our culture, we don't necessarily get married through the state, but we were reported at a time of marrying at an 80% clip.
Yeah,
before the
definitely.
modern era.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and as
Post,
black people,
post.
so I'm just wondering, traditionally, is that true if we're talking about American black culture, if they don't
Well, I
agree
would
with
have to
marriage or
go.
not?
Well, I would
I
have to
don't know
look
that
up.
it is. As far as I understand, there has always been committed civil commitments between black people all the way back to the 1700s, even on slave properties, where you would have a relationship recognized by your community. That's a state marriage. I mean, I understand you're not doing it a state marriage through the state of Mississippi, but you're doing a state marriage that is honored and respected in the community you're in. That would be no different than going down to the city courthouse and filing for a marriage certificate.
What's the
Right. And
difference?
the protections.
So
Wait,
while y'all get your thoughts together, let me read these super chats real quick before they pile up too much. Shout out to Time Waps. How did I catch a slug? I have no idea because you are slug worthy. Wanda, shout out to Wanda becoming a new member of the solution based group. Shadow. Also, shout out to Shicey Bum. Some of y'all do seem down low. Shicey's off the chain. Cody with the 199 super sticker. Thank you so much, Cody. Also, we got Shadow. Considering leading one. Autocorrect. Shout out to Cody with the 199 super sticker. Thank you so much for another doubling up. And also, we got conversation with MJ. Majority of people have never practiced true Christianity. Harriet, most people truly practice Hinduism, but seek protection under Christianity. Thank you so much,
What
and
the hell
everybody
is
make
No,
sure
she
we
means
keep on.
hedonism. Hedonism. She means that you're following what you biologically want. Sorry,
Hedonism. I apologize. Yes, thank you for the correction.
my
Hedonism.
mistake.
And make sure y'all keep lighting up the chat. My fault for
It's hard to read them. They're small.
pronunciation. And shout out to the Cash App as well. It says support always. Thank you so much.
Yo, why we
I
got this
appreciate it.
white
What's
dude
up,
here in
DQ?
black people business, man?
And
What's this
I
white
wanted
nigga
to
in
actually
black
say
people
that.
business?
I actually wanted to say that. I am not meaning to talk.
If you wanna,
Yeah, I'm not meaning to
it's okay.
talk on it
You good, Justin?
like that.
Justin, you okay? You okay? So again, if you wanted him to get off the panel, then you could have did something about it, but not just running your mouth. Only dollars work over here.
But
Justin hit the link.
So you
for
a
everyone else, I
capitalist? So
do
you
want
a
to say,
capitalist, Sharon?
Hold
You a
on,
capitalist?
Kills. Justin, hold on, Kills. Justin hit the link. He willing to have the conversation. He's being respectful. I don't know. That's all that matters. He's
and
being respectful. He's having a discussion. Y'all know the rules to the show.
but
No
I do want to
N-words.
say,
Hold on.
What's
Hold
the
on.
rules?
No
man?
N-words.
What's the rules?
No
You a
F-bombs.
capitalist?
No N-word. Hold on, Kills. No N-words. No F-bombs. And it's $20 to kick somebody off for 15 minutes. Those are the rules. Don't cry about it. All right. So now, before we started reading the super chats, Justin had a comment that Kulu wanted to respond to. So go ahead, Kulu, respond to Justin, and everybody can jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as I wanted to say, like, you also got to understand too, in the black community, there's a big distrust of the state, of the federal government.
sure.
You know, that's another reason that you can throw into the, I guess, equation on why, the marriage rates and why black people don't like to get married to the state. So that's one reason. But the biggest reason is that when we're talking about marriage, whether it's to the state or not, if you commit to a person and you give your body to a person and y'all spend 15, 20 years, that's a marriage. Whether you want to call it a marriage via the religious term or the legal term, that's a commitment. You committed your life to a person. If you get 15, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, you have property together, you live together, just because you don't have a license or it's not recognized to the state, that's still a marriage, like in my
Sure.
opinion.
So can I tell you why?
Justin, before you answer that, Justin, Kills, because you have it.
Don't provoke me to anger.
He ran.
I granted him everything he said.
Hold on. So also it says shout out with the $20. Like this, Kills. Take a set, Kills. Kills, you got 15 minutes. So hey, either you fight back with your money, Kills, or you are quiet for the next 15 minutes. Thank you so much. Shout out to Titan Was. Get ahead, Justin. You can respond to Kulu. I'm pretty sure Sway wants to jump in, and Shadow, you could jump in right after Sway.
So just a quick caveat. I do understand that I am an outsider looking in. I'm only trying to understand, and if I'm not welcome, I'm not. That's fine. But I truly just want to understand, because now back to what Kulu said. There are ways to have the community and the state recognize your marriage without having to follow the same laws. I mean, if theoretically, if it wanted to be done, it could be done. You could make the Black Church of America and form that in an official church and be all members of it and say that when we commit ourselves to this marriage, that's a marriage, and the state would recognize it. Now, I mean, that's what Mormons have done. That's what the people that don't use electricity, I can't think of their names. There are other religions that have done this.
Amish, yeah.
Thank you, Amish.
They use electricity, but they use electricity, by the way. But they just don't use
some of them.
cities.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, some of them. Yeah,
electricity.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways to gain the benefits without the cost. I think now, and I'm throwing it out there and could be wrong, as a man who's very fearful of the idea of divorce based on the idea of losing half my shit. That's the downside of a state marriage, is the easy out, the almost support by community, by the world at large, to destroy marriages for gain. And so, yeah, going into a marriage, you have to look at the pros and cons. What am I gaining versus what am I losing? What you're gaining is a lot of support and a lot of protections through the government. What you're losing is the ability to keep your money in your bank account and not have your wife take half. If you're truly sure that marriage is going to work, it shouldn't matter. But I don't think anybody can be truly sure today that a woman's going to not change over time and decide that half your stuff looks better than you.
I disagree with that.
Okay, go for it. What do you mean?
No, wait, hold on. I'm skipping. So hold on. Sharon, who was before me?
No, you good. Go ahead.
So here's the deal, bro. I think the reason why marriages are in the S-hole right now is because people aren't taking the time to get to know the person that they're marrying.
Definitely.
It's absolute. So people are treating marriages like relationships.
Yep.
I want to break up with you because I feel bad today, or because you're not taking the time to get to know me, or I've grown without you, or we're not communicating properly, and a list of 50 other things. But, but when you are married, you're not just protected by the state, you're protected by God. Faith. Because it's, and we say this all the time, it's till death do us part, but it's every other part of that contract as well. By honoring you, by obeying you, by putting you before self, my willingness and desire to put you and your well-being above my own. All of those things are guaranteed in that agreement. We talk about people who have relationships that last forever, but guess what? At any click, either of them can leave without any true repercussions, because at the end of the day, it's not protected. In fact, it's not even protected by faith, because at that point, you're living in sin because you're acting married while not actually being under a covenant.
I 100% agree with you. I was only not going that direction because it had previously been.
I think he froze.
Okay, I think so. And also, Kulu, are you legally married, Kulu?
Yes. Through the state of Texas, to the county of Dead. Marriage license.
Okay, so you are. Okay, so you are legally married. So, also, Justin, are you legally married? I don't know. Justin might still be frozen. Okay, so yeah, so I'm curious to your argument though. Cool. So you don't
Yes,
have
you're
no religious date. You don't believe in any religious doctrine, Kulu?
No, no, I believe in God. You know what I mean? But I don't have a religious, I guess, doctrine I follow. You know what I mean? To me, they're kind of all similar, just have their differences. You know what I mean? But they're all kind of doing the same thing.
sorry.
Um, I am married through the state, and my marriage certificate is one of the most prized possessions that I own. You know what I mean? Like I do value it. So I do give y'all that. But my thing is that,
Okay.
um, and we did get married underneath, I guess, Christian rules. I guess we had like a more of like a Christian style wedding, but that was more so for the family and her family who are extremely Christian. You know what I mean? Um, but we did get married through a Christian way. But am I Christian now? You know what I mean? But I do think that marriages don't necessarily have to go through Christianity or have to go through the state. If a like couple or like a person decides, hey, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life, and let's have children, and let's get an apartment, and let's do this together, and they know it's the right person. To me, that's a marriage. Like the fact that they commit to themselves. You know what I mean? It's to me, I consider that a marriage, whether it's legally, whether it's through the state or it's not. So that's what I consider a marriage is.
Mm.
And I guess that's what I meant
Okay.
by what do you define as a marriage?
Interesting. And Justin, are you legally married?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been married for 15 years.
Okay.
And I'm only 40.
For how long?
15 years. I'm 40.
You said 6 years or 15?
15 years. I'm 40 years old.
15.
I've got a 12-year-old daughter.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm very
Nice.
confused.
What
Go
you
ahead.
confused about, Shadow?
Well,
Everybody
I
on
am.
the panel is married,
Yeah, everybody on
and
the
me and
panel is
Justin
married.
been. Yes,
So cool.
me and Justin got
You're-
15. Me and Justin both have 15 years in.
Congratulations, y'all.
I got 20 years altogether.
Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everybody here, including Kulu. Kulu, you've been arguing against a very thing that you took part in. So
Yeah.
my question would become, why did you get married in that same sense? And I guess I'm not asking for your personal story, but as a guesstimate, I guess, why would someone who doesn't believe in the sanctity of marriage even go through the process of getting married? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Pressure.
Yeah. One second.
Wait, Justin,
So,
watch.
so I believe in marriage, whether it's through the state, whether it's a ceremony, or whether it's a personal commitment you make to your partner, and nobody knows about it but you, the partner, and God. So to me, whether it's how we perceive marriage to be, I believe in it, and it's just the way that my wife, their family, and our family wanted it. So I did it the way that they wanted it. But when we redo our vows, I think 6 years or when we hit the 15-year mark, it's gonna be a more spiritual wedding that I want. You know what I mean? A more ceremonial wedding that I want. Versus us doing it the way that we did for her parents and for my parents and for our families. So I believe in marriage, but that don't necessarily mean that everybody has to get married the same way, or that one person needs to be married. There could be multiple wives. You know what I mean? So to me, I don't want to restrict. I believe in freedom, but I want to restrict people's ability to get married because I got married a certain way.
But marriage in
Okay, let me
itself is
also.
a love. Oh, sorry.
Let me also welcome into the show the beautiful conversation with MJ. Good day. How you doing? What is your thoughts?
Hey, can you hear me well? I'm driving, so it'd be messing up sometimes.
Yeah, we can hear you very well. We hear your
Okay,
signals and
perfect.
everything.
Good. So I wanted to bring up, sometimes when we have conversation about marriage and then marriage before all the legal changes that we're seeing today, there was at one point where women got married that if they couldn't work, especially around like 80 years ago, when they couldn't work, if they had a child and the man decided that he wanted to marry someone else. Do anybody remember what happened to those women?
I believe they'd be
Do y'all know?
discarded.
It's raining pretty hard out there.
Right. Yeah,
I
man,
believe the
it's like
women
a
would be discarded.
monsoon. Right, you're right. They would be discarded. Sometimes their husband
become
will
old
put them in.
maids.
Sometimes the husband will put them in insane asylums, and you know what? They will be kicked out of the curb without their children. So it's just like, it's kind of like, it's insane to me or ironic to me that only for 80 years that there's something that, you know, was like an equalizer to women, because truly for centuries, women have been the one who have given up and sacrificed most in marriages. And if it didn't work, she either couldn't leave the marriage, she could either lose her life, lose her livelihood, and lose her children.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
I don't necessarily disagree with you on the face. I think maybe what you're, I think you're coming at it from a.
And MJ, I'm gonna mute you while you're not talking, so we won't hear you. Thank you.
The blinker or the wiper. I think you're coming at it from a feminist point of view, which, you know, okay. The protections afforded to you through marriage were meant to be a commitment forever. So choosing to break up that marriage required cause. You have to prove infidelity. You have to prove real, irreparable differences under God. There were specific rules. We changed that with feminism to allow women to enter in and exit a marriage at no fault. That did not help anybody, because the government and society as a whole told women that the grass was greener. It isn't. Being 45 years old and single is not better than being 45 and married, because you're only relying on your own income. At the very least, being 45 and single versus being 45 and married is never going to be better, because you're never going to have somebody to depend on in old age to keep and hold you when you're sick, to help you raise those children in the future, other than monetarily. It's a losing prospect for women. The better option is to slow down the dating process, drag it out, know the person that you're getting into bed with, and marry that person. Not have children when there's even a chance that the marriage may fail. That's the way, yeah, that's the way it used to be. And I agree with you. It is different. I just don't know that it's better.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, but I'm not going to say that it's better, because there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee in life. And even back then, when y'all had policies and rules, yes, the marriage, or even the marriage being a fruitful one, none of that is guaranteed, right? Yeah. So even when you had policies in play to pretty much keep two individuals in a marriage, there was a lot of things that was going on there. I'm not going to say every marriage were bad and horrible, but we have more than enough cases to prove that those situations occur, which is why certain rules today we have now. Because if marriage was perfect and women weren't losing their lives, or women wasn't being left out to be destitute or having to turn into governesses or milkmaids or whatever just to survive, just to eat, then everybody would be married today. So we cannot negate that the reason why things have changed is because things was going wrong. Now, you might believe that being 45 and single is worse than being 45 and married, but I beg to differ, because there's many women who are single and they only have to take care of themselves, and they also have community, meaning family members. Women are the most nurturing people on the face of the planet, so they tend to have stronger relationships than outside of an intimate relationship than men do, right? Since men want to conquer and soar their royal oaths and try to, be the best of the best in the world, compete against men. So y'all don't really have very strong relationships outside of your intimate relationships if you choose to be one. We can tell
Sure.
that now with male friendships. There is no real male friendship. Males don't even feel comfortable speaking to their so-called quote-unquote friends about the things that they're going through, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
so I would say, you know, I mean, you say it's feminist mindset, but then I would have to say that yours is misogynistic mindset because you
Yeah.
think that is because you think that, you know, a woman's world should be only around a particular man. When we all know that y'all world is not around or shaped only due to women. Y'all have goals that y'all want to compete, and if you feel that a woman can help with those goals, then that's an addition to the goals that you want to, you know, have for yourself in life. And I want to tell you that that applies to women. Not every woman wants to be the supporter of a man. Some women don't want that. You know, some women don't want to be mothers. So I think that we should allow people to be and do what they want to do, because you will really get the best outcome of that. You're going to have women that is going to want to be in the position of where a particular man with a particular ideology would like them to be. And then the women who don't, they shouldn't be aligning with men who wants that, right? It's the same that we will apply to women. Don't get with men that you know they're not moving the way that you want them to move. So I don't see that there is a real problem or issue with anything that's necessarily going on. I know we would love to see more people in, you know, unions and everything like that, but some things should happen the way that it needs to happen. And I'll drop the mic on that.
No, let me just respond to a couple things, right? So let's just go. Of course, there's going to be outliers, right? Yes. On the whole, though, do you believe that a 45-year-old woman with another partner in that household helping support it is going to have a better life than one that is all alone? Remember, you said women have support. Okay, they all have the same support, right? Everybody's got the same amount of family. Both women have the same amount of family. One has a husband to help support her. Is her life going to be better or worse?
Well, it depends, because a woman can have a man in her life and he doesn't. I'm saying on the whole, it depends on the man, because there's many women who have men that's in their life that is making their life worse. They
Right,
are
but
not
those
a
are
benefit.
exceptions. Those are exceptions. I'm saying as a basic rule, just 1 + 1 = 2, right? One income plus one income equals two incomes. That's better than one income, right?
Yes, but here's the thing. Most of the time, if you have two incomes and if the man wants to take on the traditional role, he is going to set foot what is important and what is not important, which will also include what is important to her or what is not important to her. If he's going to make the top decisions, there could be things that she might be interested in or want to invest in, and he doesn't think that is a beneficial to the whole family unit in general. Will it be done? No, it won't. So again, it depends on the man. It doesn't depend necessarily on the situation. There's a lot of women who are married. I'm sorry, I'm about to finish right now. There's a lot of women that are married who say that they're in a financial abusive relationship where they're doing everything that they need to do as, you know, as participating as a wife. But when it comes down to things that they might need, or even things that they feel that the family might need or want, none of that can be spared. So,
so to respond to that, those women are married to the wrong men. They should never have married that man. They should have known that man was that way before they married them. My wife knew exactly who I was before she married me. That's why she married me. Every time I decide to buy something, it is done with an agreement. Every time I decide to invest, it's done with an agreement. Every time my daughter messes up in school, we come to an agreement as to how to address it. We are a unit. I lead, sure, in the things that I control. When I'm at work, I don't call my wife to say, hey, should I take overtime? However, the money I make from overtime is shared between us. I think.
Well, your ideology is quite different from what we definitely hear online.
Then I think you're marrying the wrong people. I think that those people have married the wrong people.
But that's why these conversations are hard, right? Because a lot of people have rhetoric where they enforce their type of ideology on everyone, and it doesn't fit everyone's life or
Nope.
where they are in life, right?
Right.
So
And
this is
so
why I have
the women who
yeah.
don't
Go ahead.
want to live that, the women who don't want to be led and controlled by a man should not marry a man that wants to lead and control a woman. The men who want to have a primary role as I make all the money, I make all the decisions, should not marry women who don't agree with that. These are things that need to be sorted out before you get married. That would change the divorce rates by a huge amount.
Absolutely, I'm in agreement with that. Absolutely, 100%. But see, this is the problem when you have a society that bases a good partner on looks and their sexual attractiveness. Then what
I'm
are you
fat as
going
hell.
to get? If we're pushing that, and then actually having enjoying someone's personality wise, then yeah, you're going to get these type of results. You don't know how many times I have heard men who say, "Oh, this woman have a fat ass. She would be a great mom." Like, really? How do you correlate her having a fat ass as being a great mom? Because you're just being selfish. You're not thinking of the bigger picture. So I'm in agreement with you there.
On the fat ass comment, I think that comes down to a genetic predisposition to motherhood, being that your hips are wider, you'll have more children. That's just people saying things they heard on the internet.
I mean, there is some truth to having them big hips, though, but
No, it is a genetic factor.
behind it, yeah, the reasoning behind it is because of their sexual prowess and attractiveness to
And
said
fertility,
individual. Yes.
No, I'm not saying that there isn't a biological component to it, but most people they aren't understanding that. They just mean the girl has a nice butt and I want her to be my baby's mom. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So can I ask the panel, MJ, with you first? Like, are y'all Christian? Like fully Christians, or like? Okay, you. MJ?
I would push it even to just say if you're spiritual, Abrahamic spiritual. If you have any idea of a higher power, a one God, a don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, then religious marriage is for you. You just got to find the religion that fits you.
Yeah, I agree. I was born Baptist, and I do follow Christianity. I am a sinner. I don't follow Christianity to the T, and I will admit that. But yes, that's the religion I fall under.
The Pope doesn't follow Christianity to a T. Everyone's a sinner.
Well, the reason I asked that is because it seems like from online, it seems like the guys that are real big Bible thumpers who always bring up the Bible in every conversation, it seems like they be the most strictest and be having the most dysfunction, like when it comes to marriages, women entirely. You know what I mean? And I think that religion puts women in a box and even puts men in a box on how you're supposed to act and behave, when in reality, us humans, are all different. So you got guys that are really, I wouldn't say betas, but let's say they're supposed to be followers that believe, because of the Bible, that they're supposed to be leaders, and then now they're trying to find a woman, that can fit that, and like they're not actually leaders, they're actual followers. So they're making this woman do things that she wouldn't normally do, behave in certain ways, and the relationship just completely dysfunctional. All because they're not supposed to be those so-called leaders that the Bible tells them to be. So, to me, I think if we took religion out of marriage, I think marriage would be a lot better for everybody.
I think people need to refresh up on their religion.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think people need to refreshen up on their religion. I don't think that Eve asked Adam whether or not she should eat from the tree of knowledge. I don't think that she followed him in that. I think she made a bad choice, and he stood by her as a husband, and they walked out of it. They walked out of the garden.
Yeah, MJ.
So it's a double-edged sword.
I mean, to answer Kulu, the thing about it is, once you have a structure or a plan, that's putting someone.
I think she was saying if both parties agree to have the leader be the leader needs to lead. Yeah. Of course, all teams have a captain. All teams have the person who makes the plan. But I've never seen a quarterback who can win a game without a defensive line or a receiver.
Any type of plan goes that way. So, like, even with your situation, Kulu, with your wife and what you believe in and stuff like that, that is your plan. That is your movement. And there's still a structure in there. You still have a boundary in there. She still has a boundary in there. And it does, so we're never going to escape putting certain things in a box. That's what standards is about, right? We're not going to escape that. It's whether or not if we're going to accept the standards that is placed or we're not going to accept the standard that's placed. I'm only against the forcing of accepting one standard. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of forcing that's being implied, and that's what's making people rebellious, and that's what's breaking up, things that should be running flowy, like flowing, correctly. That's all.
And Justin, do your wife work?
She does. She actually works at the food stamp office as a eligibility specialist. Prior to that, she worked at the daycare with my daughter until my daughter was out of daycare. She chose a nurturing role. She supports the community around her and tries to help those that are weaker and less fortunate than her. She is choosing that subservient role, whereas I build guns to kill people for a living.
So you don't have a traditional job?
No,
you work
I
for
do.
Lockheed? You work for Lockheed and Martin?
No, I literally design and build custom firearms.
Oh, okay.
But that's my own company.
All right, so you don't have a traditional job.
Well, traditional, I'm an entrepreneur in the traditional sense. I mean, I have an FFL, I have a license, I have a business, I have a storefront.
Okay.
So if you take Christianity out of your marriage, do you think you and your wife can still work and still be married?
Yes and no. You could take Christianity out, but you couldn't take out our values. But our values are Christian in nature. They are Abrahamic. They are Abrahamic in nature.
So like, for example, right? I believe we shouldn't kill, we shouldn't steal, adultery, right? But I'm not Christian, right? I just think that's the basic blueprint that humans should follow, right? So, so like me and my wife, we're not Christians. We believe in other things, right? But our marriage still works. We're about 5 years in at this point. You know what I mean? So
I would say that you're basing it in an Abrahamic spirituality, right? That higher power, God. You're not praying to different deities for different things that you want in life. You believe in helping yourself before praying to a God to help you. These are all Abrahamic and Abrahamic beliefs.
But my bigger point is that I even believe that if we were to adopt Christianity or Islam or whatever religion, that our marriage would still work. Like our marriage, our relationship isn't bound by, like religious laws or like spiritual beliefs. Like it's just, we're compatible. We're two human beings that are compatible. We like each other's energy, personality, we see the same future. And that's how we, like go about it. So like that's the reason why I asked you, like,
how did you know? How did you know that you had the same values as your wife?
I mean, we talk about everything. I mean, like everything, honest with each other about our beliefs, our dislikes, our politics, like everything. And she agreed.
If you were Christian, what would be the simplest way to guarantee that somebody had the same values as you?
I mean, obviously, find somebody that's in the faith.
Who's Christian. Right. That's the only point I'm making. I don't think that these are hard and fast rules. I don't think that they're required. I think that they're helpful.
But if you believe that your marriage wouldn't work if you weren't Christian, like you took Christianity out of it, then is it truly an authentic marriage?
It's not It's not that I think it wouldn't work without the religion. It wouldn't work without the values. The values are what created me. They're what created her as the person she is today, as the wife she is today. Created me as who I am today. Right? Without, we can see that based on, like, you can take, like, there's tribes in the world today that eat people, right? Like, could you marry one of them? No, probably not. They don't have the same values as you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's just more of an overarching thing. People get real tribal about what religion. Like, you don't go to the same church on the same street as me, I can't marry you. That's insanity. But being able to break it down to, I have an Abrahamic Western society view of the world, you're going to be fine. If you have an Eastern Taoist view where the mountains will provide, you're going to be fine. If you have a person with those same views.
But majority of people that have that Abrahamic value system, when we consider those people to be misogynistic?
I think that there are people who are misogynistic that use that as a crutch.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think there's misogynistic people in every culture.
Yeah.
Well, let's define misogynistic. If we're saying that I'm selfish and I want things the way I want them because I'm a man and I'm thumping my chest, that misogynistic, then that's selfish. That's human nature of being selfish. You have to move past that and have a value beyond yourself. Even if you were going to say no religion whatsoever, the community is, we are, obviously I'm not, the black community, right? And I'm going to honor and respect the black community, and that's that. You could still have that.
You don't have to talk about our community because everybody that you spoke to today is married. Yeah, so
right. I apologize. I'm just trying to separate it from necessarily religion to a form of culture. You can be true. It doesn't have to be a specific religion. It's simply the society we live in, overarching, not specific. Right? If you were to take a person who grew up on South Sentinel Island, right, that thinks that people in planes are gods, you're probably not going to go well with them.
So it's the intrinsic of values.
Yeah, the intrinsic basis of core values need to align. I think that the individual rules can be hashed out. Right? Like I probably couldn't date a Jew because I like seafood. I like shellfish. But I could certainly make that marriage work as long as we come to an agreement that I'm going to eat shellfish.
Come on up, Prism. Prism said, I'm trying not to. She said that I'm itching. Good day to you, Prism.
Jump in, hit me, hurt me.
It was a good discussion. I got to head to work.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Who's the guy with the orange beard? I didn't get your name.
Justin.
Justin? All right. Nice to meet you, Justin. I'll see you later,
I super
Sharon.
appreciated the conversation, and thank you for bearing with me.
See you later, Kulu. Bye.
All right, later. Yeah, so, but, yeah, Kulu, I see you about to say something.
Yeah, so I hear what y'all are saying, but, like, what kind of sticking with me a little bit is that, like, the fact that, like, y'all are trying to put marriage and love in a box. Yes, it has to have structure and rules, but, like, I feel like when people do it like that, you know, when you go based off your religion or you go based off certain values or, oh, I don't want a person to look like this, that, like, you're restricting yourself from actually finding the person that could be actually compatible for you. You know, I feel like there's a lot of men that grow up that may have found the right person, but just because she didn't have the fat ass, or just because, you know, she wasn't a Christian, you know, they moved on or they looked somewhere else when that person could have been perfect for them. You know what I mean? So I think putting,
1,000%. Yes.
You know, like these restrictions on love, you know, at first, I think the problem.
I agree with you tenfold on the breaking it down to you have to be in my church, my category, my very, very specific slice. But when you open it wider to as long as our morals are the same, we're good. But because like I said, I think that the intent here is to use the morals as a guide to find your partner that will be moral in the same moral sphere as you, is a benefit, not a you're not cutting out people you would have been good with anyway if you're sticking with your moral category.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. If I just look at it like whether, so like my wife, she's African, right?
Sure.
She had a different belief. Her parents had a different belief, and we blended a family together. And to me, it's working perfectly as of 5 years. You know what I mean? We've been together almost 9 years, right? So
Are your core beliefs the same though? Like, does she agree? No lie, no cheat, no steal, no multiple wives, no multiple husbands.
yeah, not the multiple wives part because she is like come from a like polygamous family.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
But she doesn't want you to. She doesn't want to have multiple husbands though.
yes,
Right. So, are you okay with the multiple wives idea?
yes. I mean, so we're practicing that right now. Like we've been practicing that.
It's really important that you line up. So it's really important that you two lined up, right? Like if you had gone just on religion, you would have missed. But your morals are what lined up.
Yes.
Right, yeah. I agree with that. That is the way to do it. It shouldn't be strictly about the religion. And many people use religion as a crutch to get a woman they can control.
Yeah,
I think that's a failure on their part. That's not a failure on the religion.
I've dated women in the past that had different values that, you know, if I take like what I know now, back then I probably could have made it work and been married to them. You know what I mean? So like
you could make a lot of things work. It didn't mean it was ideal.
True. Yeah, you're right on that.
I mean, let's do this. Let's do this. Could you date a goth girl? Like what if she was like really into drinking blood?
It's okay. We don't have to go into hypotheticals. It's okay.
You get what I'm saying, though, right? Like even if she had all the same religious parts of you, but she does something really odd, probably couldn't make it work.
Yeah, maybe I could get over there.
Let me welcome into the show, the real Prism. Good day, beautiful. How you doing?
Hey, Sharon, you still overseas?
Huh?
Are you still overseas?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
Looking like Okinawa.
Close.
I was out there with the third ACR. Went out on when we moved from Carson to Fort Hood, we did a base tour of like all the different cavalry bases.
Okay, that's cool. What's your thoughts? The real Prism.
I just have a question.
You was trying to hold back. I see.
Yeah, I just. So, what's his name?
Justin.
Justin. So you believe everybody's supposed to be married?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I believe there's a benefit to marriage.
What's that benefit?
The protections you gain under the law.
But you have a whole red pill talking about you're not protected. I'm a little confused.
Well, okay. In today's society, it has been eroded, but there are still benefits. There's risks too.
Okay, so what are the benefits?
Non-taxable income. You can pass assets and properties between partners without tax. You can inherit. You can be the person who determines the medical care. You can get discounts and add somebody to your medical care. There's lots of them. I don't have a list in front of me, but those are the ones that matter to me.
So the LGBT can do that even without being married. You know that, right?
No, not without being married. You can't.
You can add someone. If you have a domestic partner, you can add them to your health insurance as well without being married.
That was a law written because we couldn't get the churches. There was no church that was going to marry an LGBT person at the time. And there was at the time, there were a lot of states that were refusing to marry same-sex partners on religious basis. They were wrong, but that's what it was. So the state then said, okay, well, if you're not going to play ball, we'll make a civil category for civil partnerships. That's still a marriage. You're still a civil commitment is still a state marriage.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. It's separating the religious marriage from the state marriage. I'm saying state marriages are absolutely important. Religious marriages are important too, but for a different set of reasons.
Okay. American tradesmen, please mind your business. I have a whole boyfriend. Thank you very much.
No, but what you brought up is important. I mean, look, whether it's 1% or 10% of the population, that's still a whole chunk of people that needed asset protection, that needed the ability to care for their loved ones and whatever. They don't harm me. I don't care what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, usually when I listen to people, when they bring in the religious topics and stuff, because it seems like every time something comes up, it's always about, I'm trying to figure out how we got from Andrew Tate to
Yeah, I don't know. I came in late.
and religion and stuff, because it seems like this is like the trajectory that keeps going with Americans and stuff, and it's kind of irritating actually, because you can be somewhere overseas with somebody who's a whole Buddhist or an atheist or agnostic and still have a very happy relationship.
You certainly could. You certainly could. But I think even in those circumstances, your core values are going to matter. I don't think it's as much based on the label you attach to it as it is the things you personally believe.
Well, I think not just values matter. I think our ethics matter as well.
Right. Well, yeah, ethics and actions based on how you feel about certain things with your values. Yes, I agree.
Right. Well, but because, when you get into, if you want to talk about what's going on over in America about this whole white Christian nationalism and this whole thing around the Project 2025 and the Trump administration, they have a whole 250-year plan out going forward on how they're going to create a Christian nation out of America. And
well, I would argue that America is a Christian nation by default.
Well, I wouldn't say that there's a default there, because originally our forefathers were deists. And if you know what a deist is, I believe it was Thomas Jefferson that had all of the miracles that were taken out of the Bible and some other little things that he didn't want the slaves to think that there was ever a chance that they would ever be freed or released or anything of that sort. So, let me tell you what America's,
Yeah.
I think it was Malcolm X that said that the chickens are coming home to roost. And I'm going to say this because I feel like it really needs to be said, is that the fact that before the colonizers came to Africa, there were matrilineal as well as patrilineal societies. And by that standard, the matrilineal societies, everything was not passed down to the husband, it would be passed down to the children. And when the colonizers came over to Africa and they started seeing how women were part of the ruling class and that those things were being passed down, they started letting the men know by Christianity that those things were not so. And it left a lot of those families, I want you to hear this statement, that it left a lot of those families broken, and those second and third polygamous wives and those children were left out in the cold with having no funding, no one to take care of them. It sounds kind of like what's going on right now with the Black families in America. And see, this is what I'm talking about, by taking people and creating them to make them call nothing more than beasts of burden for you to build your land and farm your lands, and then try to, of course, because the fact that colonizers have used Christianity as some sort of whipping tool, they used to tie up the Black slaves underneath the churches and let them listen to sermons and stuff of how
Sure.
that was their life to have to serve the white man. And we see even these people in the Heritage Foundation, one Delano Squires, talking about the celebration of the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of course, we know equity and equality are two different things, and the removal of civil rights laws are happening over in America right now. And we're watching this whole little turnstile with this thing, that this monopoly of capitalism and the threat that you can't be a Marxist, you can't be a communist. And they want to target pro-Black people. They want to target women who are feminists and all these other things. When the feminist talks that a lot of these men are having right now, they're probably about 2 to 3 generations behind on the type of feminism that's getting ready to approach America. And the type of feminism that's about to approach America, there's not going to be a turn back from it.
Do you think that's a good thing?
I think it's the chickens coming home to roost.
You think it's a product of its age?
I think it's well, for every action, there's a reaction.
Sure. Of course, everything happens because of things that happened prior, but that would also play into being a product of its age. Right? It's happening because things have already happened. It's happening because of things that are happening now, right? Like, yes.
I mean, this is, so let me see, because you have these ignorant trolls in the chat who don't have a life. and we're having a conversation. This is not even combative between he and I. We're having a conversation. So,
and I'm trying to be careful about that because, of
Right.
course, initially I want to dive right in on the Marxist can't work, etc. We can get into that if that's what you want, but
depends on what type of Marxism that you're talking about.
well, let's go with this. It's never worked anywhere successfully, right?
Depends on what kind of Marxism that you're talking about.
Has it worked to this date successfully anywhere in the world?
It has in some places.
Where?
I can tell you a couple of different places that those theories have worked.
Okay, where?
Right here in the United States of America.
We're not Marxist. We're a capitalist society, 100%.
So I just said that there are certain theories or principles that are attached to the Marxist thoughts that have been
Okay, maybe I misunderstood. When I hear capitalist versus Marxist, I understand that to be a governing principle for a country. You're saying that families can be Marxist.
So there are a whole bunch of mindsets that are Marxist right here in America, and communistic and all other kind of thoughts.
Sure. Do they give away their paychecks?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about.
I don't think anybody gives away their paychecks. You still got to pay rent.
Sure about that?
I mean, everybody still has to pay rent. Even the church, as altruistic as it is, giving away donations by the fistfuls, still has to pay property. They still have to pay the light bill. They still have to pay for the heating bill. I mean, that's capitalism, right? Like Marxism would be the government owns everything, right? And by the government owning it, we all own it as the means of production. We own the means of production, except that there will still be a person in control, and that person will own more of it than you do. So even that isn't Marxism. That's capitalism still.
Okay, so like I said, there are proponents of Marxism that have worked in America as well as communistic thoughts. But here's the whole thing about it.
I still ask where, though.
Hold on. Before we jump over there, we have to think about this at the same time. So what has been working better? White nationalism?
I didn't say anything about white nationalism. I'm talking about capitalist versus Marxist.
But that's kind of like what the alternative has been and what's been kind of being pushed toward us.
I don't see that at all.
Okay,
I mean,
we can pull up the 2026 counterterrorism strategy by Donald Trump from the White House government. And I can tell you right now that if a sitting president says in the foreword that anarchists, anti-fascists, anybody who's against fascism, anybody who's an anarchist, we can talk about people being Antifa or Marxist or feminist or anybody who's against the establishment. He said at the end of the foreword that we will find you and we will kill you. Has anybody read the counterterrorism strategy this year? That doesn't sound like
I haven't read that, but let me preface this with President Trump is not a president in the traditional term. He's not a politician in the traditional term. He says things that are inflammatory. What are his actions that have done these things? Has he hunted down Marxists and killed them?
I don't know if
don't say the K word.
Sorry. I mean, I'm not going to defend Trump's words. He's loose with words, no doubt about it. What policies have led to what you're just saying, what you're describing? I don't think anything has, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Which policies for it? Which part do you want to talk about? The fact that he's making ICE his own federal police team, or
if you want to go with ICE, we can do ICE.
Or that he's using the Department of Justice as a means of being able to prosecute people. For example, the people that were in the ICE, I believe they did some sort of protest with the ICE at an ICE facility somewhere in Florida. I believe that those people just got life imprisonment.
I don't know about that case specifically, but I can use the ICE detention facility here in Dallas.
Okay, so
now let's just go with this. Do you believe that it's a good idea to keep tabs on a community that may turn violent? Right? Like, do you think it's good to investigate potential violence?
So how come, I have a question, and that's a really good question, but here's the problem. ICE, Antifa does not have a central. I think that our biggest problem are white supremacists and white nationalists, which is why that Donald Trump's DOJ has filed a lawsuit against the Southern Poverty Law Center
Yep.
And basically what they are saying is that they have been supporting the Klan for over years. And we already know that that's not true, because if the Southern Poverty Law Center
I can show you the checks.
has a heat map which produces all the information for internal sources for white supremacists, other militias that surround the whole United States of America. And they right now are prosecuting them or trying to get the information of exactly who has infiltrated those groups by lying and saying that they've been supporting the KKK for years. So
okay, so wait, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
If the FBI, right, let's say I have a gang, okay, and a cop comes in undercover and says, hey, I'm gonna give you guys a whole bunch of guns. Let's go do a crime. Is that wrong on the government's part? That's entrapment, right?
In the back chat. So, Shadow, I need you to go look at that counterterrorism strategy, and I need you to go read the foreword, and I need you to read the bottom part of that strategy, and I need you to read the full document of what he said that he was going to come after anarchists and people. Anti-fascists, people who are against fascism.
Well, calling yourself an anti-fascist doesn't make you an anti-fascist.
Where can I find the official document?
Hang on one second. I'll put it in the back chat for you.
Please and thank you.
I just want to make one thing clear, though. Calling yourself Antifa does not mean that you are truly anti-fascist. By definition.
Also, speaking Dallas, the ICE facility is at 1100 Commerce.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that to make a point, but that's a 32-floor building. And that's the entire federal government building. I think they're like, they're in that area, right?
Yeah,
I'm in
definitely.
Dallas as well. So maybe February, March, they actually shut down a lot of downtown Dallas because of protests for ICE raids.
Right.
I only know this because I was literally there. I got pulled over during one. So,
my wife has had to not go to work because of it. I agree.
So I get it. So you understand, I'm not actually contesting you at the moment. I'm in agreement with you to an extent. I think you're a little further off than.
I'm trying to be polite and gentle with my argument, but yes.
Right.
I'm trying to be very cognizant that I'm out. Like I said, I'm an outsider looking in. I don't have the same hurts and pains that you guys have. I'm trying to be cognizant of that. Of course, there are arguments out there that people make that come from a supremacist point of view. I'm not doing that.
Sharon has also stated pretty clearly to stop apologizing for the conversation. That's why he brought you up.
Thank you. I applaud you guys and appreciate it. In fact, I've kind of gotten a little bit of a reputation for doing this. I've been on a number of other podcasts about Black culture and usually come in on the use of force or firearms aspect.
Wow. Black
also,
culture.
welcome.
No, they were literally, that's literally what they called themselves. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying that that's what they describe themselves as. It's a Black culture podcast. It's what they call themselves. I don't particularly view it that way. I view it as human culture, honestly. And that's why I'm coming at it the way I am.
Whoa, hold up. So I actually did read the forward just now. So I'm going to say this because I need to say it, because now we're having honest conversations. If you are going to make the statement, because I will agree with you right now, what you said is accurate, but the immediate sentence before that is the qualifier for it. It literally says, if you hurt or kill Americans, we will hunt you and end you. Come on, bro. Like, I see where you're coming from.
I didn't want to go that path because I wasn't sure, but yeah, I was pretty sure.
Yeah, like, so yes.
It doesn't say that if you don't believe what I believe, we'll kill you. It says if you don't believe what we believe, we know who you are, and then you hurt us, we will. Yeah.
That's not a qualifier either.
Sorry.
Right. It's TOS. But,
sorry.
So in reading that sentence, if you just read that last sentence, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
But if you read that last paragraph, it makes perfect sense. people say the same thing about their homes every day.
Yeah. This comes to a lot of things Trump says. I mean, 90% of what he says can be taken badly, or you can follow it up with what happened before or after.
Well, hold on a second. So, did you read the whole document, Shadow?
No, you asked me to read the forward, and I made sure to read that specifically because I want to see where you were coming from.
Okay, but where I'm coming from is absolutely the truth.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you asked me about the conclusion of the forward, right?
Okay.
So, to be fair, I could just be seeing only part of what you're saying, but based on what you asked me to read, right? And then I took that at its face value and read it. And then I was like, oh, snap, let me read the entire forward. And as I read the entire forward, that sentence actually makes sense based on what was immediately said.
So
I would not disqualify that sentence because I believe
you don't disqualify him because you don't find anything wrong with him.
I wouldn't say that either. No. So I'm not going to definitely agree with that.
Finish that. Let her finish that.
You don't.
Let her finish the thought so this way y'all can actually have a discussion.
You look at it. So, look, I told you to read the foreword, and I said I told you to focus on that last part. Never have we in the history of America a sitting president say that our new U.S. counterterrorism strategy is a return to common sense and peace through strength. As I said, after our first successful counterterrorism mission, just days after I was sworn back into office, if you hurt Americans or if you're planning to hurt Americans, we will find you and we will blank you. So if you read, he said in the beginning, he says, "The part is my commitment to defending Americans from all enemies, foreign and domestic." How is Antifa a domestic terrorist? How are they?
Because they're here in the country and they're committing acts of terror. If they were to kill Americans on the virtue of them not believing what they believe, that would be terror.
Okay, so what about the guys on January 6th? Somebody needs to mute this.
Nobody on January 6th killed anybody. One person died from a heart attack. The other person got shot in the head by the cops.
Hold on, Justin. Refrain from the word.
Sorry.
Word. Say deleted.
I'm bad with that. I apologize.
Okay.
So, go ahead. I think we figured out the echo. Go ahead, Prism.
Okay. So what about the white supremacists that go into the different churches, that go into the different Jewish centers, the neo-Nazis, and all those different people? What about those?
How many have they killed?
Excuse me?
I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have to kill. I
Justin.
don't know why we have these apologists on here and treat them like they're not pathetic. He just read that you don't have to. Yeah, you, Shadow being pathetic. Yeah, both of y'all are both maggots that will find any excuse to allow him to say and do whatever he wants. Yes. And Shadow, you can line it up.
It's in the back chat.
So Shadow just said whether you do actually do it or if you plan to do it. Your excuse was how many did they actually do it to? No, it's if you plan. White supremacists do plan that. They do talk about it. They say we should remove these people. These people should. And
well, should and I will on Tuesday or two different things.
Being loose, it's not two separate things based off the document. You're planning to do it or you do it. You should, based off the document, they say they're going to hunt and something you. Now, why is this only happening to people that are opposite of their views?
I don't think it is. I think lots of people.
Can you give an example? So her question was, can you give an example of that?
Yes.
Okay, who?
And you want me to start looking up people who've gone to jail for fraud?
Because you have plenty of examples off the top of your head of the other way around. She's asking you, are they doing that to the white supremacist groups that are going into black churches and doing these things? And you didn't have an answer. You said, well, how many have they actually done that to? It doesn't matter. How many of those organizations that line up and vote for Trump have they targeted?
All of them.
Okay, all of them. So the Proud Boys who the leader of the Proud Boys got
not white.
The DOJ. The leader, who said anything about being white?
Well, you said it was a white supremacist group.
Yeah, and also, well, it was debatable whether you want to count Proud Boys as a white supremacist group. You don't have to be white to be a white supremacist either.
Okay, fair enough.
But he got hired by the DOJ, right?
I don't know.
He didn't get targeted by the federal government and hunted and all that good stuff. He got hired by the DOJ.
The guy I'm thinking of got arrested, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, he got arrested by the previous administration. And then
Right.
this administration pardoned him and hired him in the DOJ.
I don't know about that
Of course you
specifically.
don't know about that because you're an apologist. That's what you guys do. You get on panels and you always act like
No, I mean, if you could
have
show
no
me that, I would talk to it.
It's just
I don't know that
pathetic, bro. I
specifically.
don't understand why y'all treat these people like normal people. They're part of a cult. And you got to start, you really got to start dealing with them like that, man. They're apologists. They get on here. They just want to do the same. You see, Eat a Man ran away. Eat a Man ran straight away. He know what time it is. The same shit every single time. No integrity, just apologists. They always don't know. They never know the bad thing that Trump is doing. They never know that these people are getting put in positions of power. They always feign ignorance. But then when it comes to Antifa or something else, they're like, oh yeah, they're bad guys. Did you know they did this, and this other thing too? But when you ask them about, hey, the leader of the Proud Boys got put into power at the DOJ, they're like, oh, I didn't know about that. Whoa, that's crazy. Well, anyway, that's kind of bad. But let's get back to the Antifa stuff.
We can keep doing this.
It's pathetic.
We can do it one of two ways. You want to have a conversation?
Not with you. I'm going to take a nap.
Hater.
I'm going to take a nap because I was going to do that before, but I heard this dude bullshitting and it's annoying.
But then you
So I'm gonna be back in about 45.
Just got the death sentence.
Who?
Co-signed by Trump, apparently. He's a guy who walked into a black
Trump the guy
domestic terrorism.
Trump the guy that's trying to keep the Tate brothers in the U.S. so that he can pardon
Okay, wait. Hold on. Let's go about this. What are you talking about? Because now I just looked it up.
I'm going to take a nap.
No, because now I
bullshit.
No, because now I just looked it up, and that's an absolute lie. He did not get hired by the DHS.
I didn't say anything about the DHS.
Okay. You said he was hired by the government. He absolutely is not. Enrique Tarrio was not hired by the government, has never worked for the government. 2021 court release proved that he never did, that he was 2021 court releases provide that he was a prolific undercover informant for the FBI. That would mean that the FBI was during Trump's term investigating the Proud Boys.
Nobody's talking about 2021.
No,
I'll be the first. I'll be the first. First of all, I'll be the first person to say that Trump's first administration is completely different because there was actual conservatives around him.
Okay, but also he's never worked for the government in any capacity. None.
Is he a government employee right now?
No, and has never.
Who is the Proud Boy or whatever member that got hired by the DOJ? They were questioned about it, and she said, "Yeah, he's there, but we don't want to talk about it."
I don't know, but this is from Reuters and Associated Press News.
You know, Sharon, it's really interesting that anytime I come up and add little tidbits of little information and stuff, it's really interesting who pops out and starts talking about their rhetoric. It's also very interesting how quickly, when I start talking about white nationalism and white Christian nationalism, how people all of a sudden you start seeing their true colors. It's very, very telling to me.
I think anybody who's hurting other people should be investigated and jailed. I'm not saying that at all.
Antifa's just running around hurting people. When you have
Antifa absolutely is beating people in the head with locks.
There is no person. There's no more violent, hateful, and cruel parties than anything that's white nationalists, KKK, militia groups. There's nothing more damaging or hateful or violent to America than those people.
I would agree with you.
That includes the women.
I would agree with you. I think hate in general is a bad idea. I think hurting people is a bad thing, and all people that hurt others should be arrested.
Okay, so it wasn't that dude. He was just someone else that was pardoned and spending time.
So some other random person in the Patriot, the Proud Boys,
a different person that was a rioter and an insurrectionist during January 6th was then hired, but the one that was talking about offing cops and all that good stuff. He was hired by the DOJ. So you got.
I'm sure lots of people have been hired.
Not being hunted. The point is that the document is there and it says these things, but then they just coincidentally only go after people that go against what they already believe. Otherwise, the ones that harmed the cops and stuff, they wouldn't have been pardoned. They wouldn't be hired by the DOJ. They wouldn't be spending time at Mar-a-Lago. They wouldn't be spending time with the president, being pardoned by the president personally. Right?
Which cops were harmed? As far as I understood it, there was only.
Not even having a good faith argument, bro.
No, I'm asking you. I don't know.
Of course you don't know, because you don't look into anything that paints Trump in a bad light.
Right. There were 11 DC cops who were injured that day and 2 federal officers.
Right.
Being specific.
And of those 11 people, out of the hundreds of thousands of people, 50,000, however many people were there.
Were they pardoned?
For harming people? I don't think so.
Were they?
And the ones who actually were
pardoned for harming
convicted of harming cops did not get pardoned.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
Anybody
the pardon was for being there.
Assault on an officer did not get pardoned. There's still a single bill no.
Yes, they did.
That's the way I understood it as well.
For one. For two, the document says, does it or plans to. If someone says, let's go off some cops, should they be hunted?
Yes. No, no. Well, hold on now.
So the one that was on camera saying, "Hey, let's go
disagree.
off some cops."
I disagree. That's not.
It's what the document says.
Okay, hold on.
So if you take zip ties if you take zip ties and say,
yes, that shows intent.
So that's planning. They were also pardoned. They should be hunted though, correct?
I mean, by document, yes.
But based off the document, you should be hunted, right? Not pardoned.
Yes, hunted and investigated.
Okay, so why were they pardoned? Why are the people on their side pardoned? Why they
weren't.
Go after people
the ones that hurt people were not.
So they weren't. Okay. We're talking about the ones with the zip ties.
I don't have a specific figure for people who had zip ties.
The ones with the zip ties, they come with the zip ties that shows intent. They're planning something, right?
Wait, AR, did they get pardoned?
Yes, they got pardoned.
Wait, are you sure?
The fact that you guys are saying that nobody got pardoned.
No, I'm asking you because I can literally go find out right now.
Yeah,
so I'm asking you to confirm.
Go find it out, buddy. Go find it out.
Are you talking about the people from the January 6th?
Yes.
Hey, Shadow, they were pardoned, and Trump was going to create, dig this, a $1776 billion fund for them, but you can't find reparations, Shadow?
No, hold up. Wait a minute. So let me agree with you where you are.
Keep y'all head in the sand. And
wait. Hold on.
That man,
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I think that would have been wrong anyway. I was against that when we talked about it here because that's ludicrous. You shouldn't be getting rewarded for committing a crime. Now, hold on. Now, here's where I'm coming from. What I did recognize, because I know people who are in Seagoville now for the January 6th attack that did not get pardoned because their offense of conviction also had crime. Because when he did that mass pardon, one of the caveats in it was anyone who got indicted for committing a crime of violence, which has 18 criteria, do not qualify for the pardon. We're not talking about people who served the full sentence. We're talking about people who actually got pardoned. It's just a different conversation. We're not even arguing against each other. I think that was wrong too. Because get this, I believe destruction of federal property is also a crime of violence. We had an attack at the federal building in Dallas, and that guy got a life sentence.
Okay, so is hurting only physical, or is it other things as well? If someone denies your rights to vote, is that hurting you as an American?
I don't. Okay, but we're taking definitions out of place.
No, we're not. We're doing exactly what Trump does. We're doing exactly what Trump does, which is say something abstract and then string something along to tie to that.
The answer to your question,
and I don't agree when he does it.
But that's not. I'm asking you what the document says. That is actually, you can literally sue someone. You have standing to sue someone if they stop.
But it's not a criminal charge.
One second. Kulu live streaming. I agree with Prism and AR. They always know what bad things Democrats do, but somehow ignorant or don't know about the bad stuff the Republicans are doing.
I'm pretty sure me and him are
very
both
strange.
Sorry.
Hey, Sharon,
and also the real Prism.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Real Prism says, thanks. You are welcome. And that wasn't to drop nobody.
That's just love.
Just accent. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Sharon, I believe it was somewhere at time in April, I believe that the DOJ moved to vacate all the communication, felony records, and everything, removing everything from the Department of Justice to vacate the seditious conspiracy convictions. That means everything has been wiped clear. So you want to tell me again?
Oh, and also,
There's
And
no
to
favoritism.
piggyback off of that, Shadow is correct. They weren't Shadow. I don't know if he's correct entirely. There was at least 14 that weren't pardoned. Instead of pardoned, they got their sentences commuted.
Right. So they still get they will not go work for the DOJ.
Their time, they didn't serve their time because Trump was like, no, you guys can get out no matter what you did to the officers. Yes.
But there's still a consequence.
So instead of, were they hunted down and offed, like the document says? Or is that only said to apply to people on the left? Why were they not hunted down?
I don't think it said anything about the left. I said I think if you attack Americans, you'll be hunted down and killed.
Why did Trump commute their sentences instead of hunting them down and offing them?
Please stop saying that K word.
Sorry.
Why did Trump commute their sentence instead of offing them, like he said he would do the other people? Is it because they support him?
I think it's because he has an issue with the political motivated.
Okay, so yeah,
idea of investigation.
Trump, you can do whatever you want, and you'll be pardoned or commuted.
And I don't agree with that. Not on its face.
But that doesn't matter. Why? It doesn't matter whether you agree with it because people like you guys say we don't really agree with it, but it's really not that bad. We're still going to support the guy, right? There's nothing he can do or say.
So there's nothing that a liberal does that you don't agree with.
No, there's a whole bunch. What are you talking about?
There's
a whole bunch that liberals do that I don't agree with.
But you still support
There's a whole
him?
bunch of things that I have lines. No, there's certain liberals. No, like I won't vote for Bernie Sanders. Well, he's more progressive.
Fair enough. Then I agree with you.
I have lines. No, we're not the same though, because you have no lines in the sand.
I definitely do.
That you don't, because he tried to stop himself from getting removed from power in 2020. He pardoned and commuted all the people that also tried to help him do that, and also the ones that attacked the officers. He has now, off of the quote unquote no new wars, Mr. No New Wars president, started a war with Iran and gotten multiple. We're going up on dozens now of service members offed and several or hundreds more injured. We're still in that war with no end in sight. He started it because of another country, had nothing to do with us. He claims that it's about certain types of weapons, which is the exact same thing that they said in Iraq, which is the exact same thing that y'all said. Oh, we don't want to be like Bush because, they lied to us and all that stuff. But then you eat it up when he says it, right? He said inflation was going to come down immediately. He said, oh, inflation is going to go so fast, it's going to make your head spin, right? That's what he said. He was constantly tweeting that. He then said affordability is a big issue when he was running. Then when he became president, the affordability is a Democratic hoax, right? He does things like, hey, if you're a Democrat, if you're a blue state and you ask for federal like FEMA funding or disaster funding and all that stuff, you're not really going to get it. But red states haven't had theirs drop at all, right? So he picks and chooses.
We're gonna say,
hey, as long as you support me, it's okay. And you guys have no lines in the sand. You guys have all the lines. All right, let me take that back. You guys have lines in the sand. You just don't mind stepping over them and staying over them.
But here's the problem.
That is the problem. That is the problem. I'm describing the problem to you.
But you're not giving accurate information because according to what I just read, based on what you just said, keep in mind, I'm not going off on what you said, AR. 107 people were re-indicted for offenses related to January 6th.
They were what?
They were re-indicted.
Why were they re-indicted?
They were re-indicted, one, because the initial sentence for seditious conspiracy was commuted, but
so it was commuted.
They were then indicted.
We don't need to hear anything else. They should have been. Should they have been commuted? Should they have been commuted? Should they have been commuted?
I think that has more to do with court.
Should they have been commuted?
I think that has more to do with court procedures. It was easier to do a straight wipe and then re-indict rather than pick and choose, because a lawyer would be able to argue, you released him, but not my client, and we're in the same categories. That's more about law.
Find some positive way to spin the fact.
It's not no.
Should they have been commuted?
Yes, they had to be commuted to be re-indicted. Yes.
So, yes, you commute someone to re-indict them. Yes, I agree. To give them lesser charges, I agree. Should they have been commuted?
Whoa, hold up. Now, see, we're not going to keep spinning this. They actually were sentenced to worse charges, according to what you just said.
I have to look into it.
You got to look into it
because they were commuted.
Sir, you cannot quote anybody. Hold on, you can't quote anybody's name. The only reason Shadow knows this is because he just looked it up.
I agree.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the other dude that said, now you got to look into it. Yeah, I do got to look into it. Nobody knows 107 people that were commuted, and they're
100%. And that's that. And I agree. Well, I'm just going back with
anybody's name. You can't do anything.
I'm going back to where you were saying that I overlook it whenever it's on the right, but not on the left.
Overlook it every single time. There's plenty.
If I don't know about it, I can't overlook it.
There's plenty of stuff I came on here and said I agree that Trump did well. I think he handles the border much better than Biden and the Democrats have. and
then I'm pretty sure we're on the same page.
So we're not on the same page because I have lines and I don't cross them and you don't. You have no integrity.
Hey, Sharon.
And the fact that you have a picture of you in a uniform while also having no integrity is baffling to me. You said an oath, and yet you voted for someone that doesn't care about the Constitution. He literally does not care about the Constitution. And you sit here with a picture of yourself in uniform, like that's supposed to mean something. And this is what I mean when I've never.
I'm sorry. Where and when did I say I voted for Trump?
I have never. All right, whether you voted for him, whether you're just a Trump apologist, I don't care either way. You have no integrity.
All I've said so far is I don't know about certain things that you're discussing, but the things that I do know about, I've said my part on them. The things I do support, I support. The things I don't know about, I can't fight against.
Did you vote for Trump?
All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, it was the lesser of two evils.
Okay, so thank you. So don't ask, don't play stupid.
Lesser of two evils.
We know what you voted for. We know who you voted for. You suck him off the entire time you're up here.
Hold on, fellas. Let Prism get a chance to jump in there. She don't want to scream over nobody. Go ahead, Prism.
Yeah. So, you know, let me say this, and I don't care who thinks whatever, but I don't trust this administration at all. I don't think that Joe Biden's administration was any better in a lot of things, because I'm able to look at things as a very, circular way. I can look at it in a worldview to say that none of these things are working. None of the stuff that we've been doing for whatever how many years is not working. I had a weekend that I was sitting back. Sharon, it's like the rainy season over here. So
absolutely,
it's raining like hell every damn day. And I've had a moment to sit back. And, usually what I'll do is I'll go back and listen to our elders and the people who are older than us. And to think sometime humbling that one day we're going to be somebody's ancestors. And that counts a whole lot. You need to really think about that. One of the ancestors that I read, he said this on a live. He said, if white people really passed any meaningful laws, it would not be necessary to pass any more laws. There are already enough laws on our law books to protect someone who's an American citizen. You only need additional ones when you're dealing with someone who is not regarded as an American citizen. White people are so hypocritical that they do not want to admit that this black man is not an American citizen, so they classify him and build laws around to make him a second-class citizen, to get around making him that real citizen. If he were a real citizen, you would need no more laws. You would need no more civil rights legislation. When you have civil rights, you have citizenship. It's automatic. White men don't need laws to protect their citizenship. They are already citizens, but they want to tell us we are not citizens at the same time. They don't want to pass any laws that are meaningful enough to protect us as if we were citizens. And the Supreme Court, desegregation is the very best example I know. And that is a law from the Supreme Court. And who said that? Malcolm X in 1963. Now, y'all can keep on playing around with America and its little games. And the real deal is that as much as they would like to, this whole thing about the replacement theory, the 7 Mountain Mandate, what else do we have out here? The Heritage Foundation, their project, their 2025, the next 250 years going forward of what America should look like. When I heard that they want Christianity to become the national religion, you're welcome to stay here as long as the idea of why Black people are the most studied and why we have white people popping up on all of these panels, all of a sudden they're coming into all of our conversations. We're not sure where they're coming from. The reason why the ideology of Black people in America is that the idea of Dr. King was integration. Integration. That means you can be a Black person, live in America, have your own views, your own culture. You didn't have to assimilate. Assimilate means that you have to be like them. You have to dissolve yourself in a system where you are no longer, I want you to hear this, Black Americans. You're just Americans. You don't need any more civil rights to protect you. You don't need any reparations. And we've heard all these conversations all over social media, FBA, non-FBA, Africans, Jamaicans, the Caribbean, all these other things. But I'm telling you, this is a conversation. This is an assault on your color. This is an assault on you not assimilating to the fact that white people want you to live around their culture and orbit around them. The revolution for Black people is to keep our identity. That is the revolution for America. For they don't want us to keep our identities as Black people. So you guys can keep on playing this game if you want to. I don't believe Malcolm X was a liar. I believe he was a futuristic thinker. I believe he was a wise thinker. I believe that he was a wise man. I believe Dr. King was a wise man. And I feel like some of the conversations that we've had around these men have been absolutely dishonorable and disrespectful to them as our ancestors. So that's all I have to say, Sharon. I'm not going to disappear for white people. I'm not going to center my life around white supremacy or the disease of white nationalism. I'm going to live my life in a stability that I need to live in and not worry about what they're going to do. I'm going to fight like hell, and I don't care what you call me. Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers. Ooh.
So this is why you don't use AI to look things up, because there was people that were convicted or not convicted, but indicted for aiding and abetting assaulted officers and other stuff like that. The dude that was hired by the DOJ was one of those. He was on camera and admitted to saying off them to the police officers. And when the police officers were being attacked, he said, yeah, get them. That's one. Two, there's another Newsweek article that talks about how there was people that assaulted officers that were also pardoned. The ones that didn't get pardoned, the ones that he's talking about, were typically the ones with more serious charges like seditious conspiracy. So it wasn't because they assaulted officers that they didn't get pardoned. It was typically the seditious conspiracy because they had already been convicted and they got commuted. But that's why you don't you don't use AI as a fact-based thing. It's terrible. But yeah, going back to what I said, I just find people that serve, especially people that served and said an oath. I find them to be pathetic when they vote for someone that goes against the oath that they gave. And then they get on panels and they act like shit's okay or shit's normal. But it looks like he maybe did a couple years, so maybe I shouldn't hold him to such a high standard.
Yeah, I did a couple years and got injured by a weapon of mass destruction.
I'm sure you did. What was the WMD?
Chlorine gas.
Okay, right. And where was that?
Mosul, Iraq, 2008.
Did you agree with the first time we went in Iraq?
To stop the proliferation of weapons. Yeah, absolutely. And they were there. I saw them with my own eyes. Right. Yeah.
And so none of the news articles or anything like that, because I remember news articles. I remember.
Yeah, you're right. They changed the definition. They said it had to be nuclear bomb.
Or maybe no, they didn't. No, WMDs is any biological, chemical, or nuclear. It's always.
So are you saying that he didn't have gas?
From what I remember, he had gas that was made back in like the 80s and 90s.
But he had it, right? So that's a WMD, right? So then they were there.
Sure. No, but the argument for the UN towards the UN and stuff was about nuclear WMDs.
No, it was about WMD.
No, that was their insistence, right? We can go back and look through the tapes. It is recorded. We can go back and look through the tapes that their insistence was more about the nuclear side, not about them having chlorine gas from the 80s and 90s. The argument was like they were going to build nukes. Hey, they're trying to do this.
That they were on a trajectory.
The same argument that they're trying to make for Iran.
Yeah, that they were on a trajectory. That they had.
What you got injured by was not. You got injured in 2008. Saddam was already long gone in 2008. So what you got injured by wasn't Saddam and his forces.
No, it was the unrestricted access.
Yeah,
you're right. It was unrestricted access.
Clearing a building and it had chemical
alleyway
gas or whatever.
It was an alleyway.
That's fine.
It was
like someone. Someone bombed you.
Well, it's exactly like that, actually. Let me just give you exactly what happened.
It's literally not that. Like we're seeing.
Can I tell you exactly what happened, and then you can go from it?
I've heard enough of. I don't care, because the point is that their argument was that they're developing these things, and you now saying, yeah, they were. Oh well, actually they weren't. It was in an alleyway, but it was from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, they had it. Nobody said that they still don't have leftovers. Nobody said that on any aisle.
Okay, so can I respond now?
Nobody said that. And so when you have someone, did you vote for Trump because of quote unquote no new wars?
No, I voted on him for two specific reasons.
What was the two specific?
Stealing the border and the Second Amendment.
Okay, the dude that banned bump stocks in his first term, you voted for that guy on the Second Amendment?
Yeah, he was ill-informed, and he supported the NRA, which I don't support.
Okay, so what legislation did Biden pass? Did he sign?
The part where he said we're going to take away your AR-15.
Did he sign? What did he say on? What did he sign? Not what did he say? Because we know Trump put pen to paper on the bump stocks, right? What did Biden put pen to paper on for 2A? Oh, you don't have anything?
I'm not sure. Give me a moment here.
Okay.
I know that he's
confused because you voted for someone that did put pen to paper on something that's anti 2A.
Yes, and I didn't like that, and it was reversed.
For the 2A,
and it was also reversed.
He doesn't care about the Constitution at all. He doesn't care about the Constitution at all.
It was also reversed on him. I'm not saying people are infallible.
In the first place.
I'm not saying people are infallible. But there would have been. I mean, do you think that
when you're talking about the border, are you talking about the same guy that called when they had bipartisan legislation for the border, and Trump called and told them to off it because if they pass that, then he has a less chance of a win? Are you talking about that guy that supposedly cares more about the border than himself?
Again, I don't know that to be true. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's true. They said. What are you talking about? Why do you never know anything negative about Trump to be true?
Because of how many? Because of the dozens and dozens of instances where it wasn't true.
This stuff was in the news for weeks, and somehow you don't know it. But then you want to quote some esoterics, this thing that 5 people might know. You can quote that though. You can quote something like that, but you can't remember something that was in the news for like 3, 4, 5 weeks.
All right, so what is it exactly? Did Trump do what?
Which part?
The part that you're saying I don't know about. The
border where he called GOP. You see how Shadow's quiet? Because he knows what I'm saying. He's not over here defending Trump. You're the only one that has Trump that far down your throat.
Shadow's quiet because he was getting in his car and go play the game with me.
Yeah, Shadow's quiet because he knows I'm right. And he's like, let me not look this up on AI again and be wrong. You can look it up. Trump called GOP leadership and told them to off the bill. That is what he did. Right. It was bipartisan. It was bipartisan drafted, bipartisan agreed upon.
What are you asking?
The Republican sponsor had talked to his colleagues, and they all said they would do it. And then Trump called the GOP leadership and called GOP members and said, "Don't pass this."
Okay, that did happen. What's the point? Okay.
I know it happened. He doesn't know that happened because it's something negative about Trump. He lives in La La Land, apparently.
Yeah, so it says here he would rather have no bill than a bad bill. He did not want it to pass and be a benefit to his political opponents. Okay,
exactly. So he said, "Don't do this. This will make America safer, but don't do it because it's going to hurt my chances at re-election."
I mean, maybe it would make us safer, or maybe they would have.
We know it would.
We don't know it would. Okay, we don't know because I didn't see that legislation. I don't know what the legislation was. It could have said lots of things.
It was a bipartisan bill that Republicans and Democrats agreed upon.
And it said shut the border and deport more people than have come in. I don't think it did.
I would have to look at the exact
text, right, and so that's what I'm getting at.
What you guys were arguing was that the border was open. There was no control. This was a Republican.
That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing.
Of course, you pick and choose which side of the argument you want to be on based on how it's going to help you. Your side of the argument, which was the Trump, the maggots, and the Republicans, were all saying the border was open. The border's open. There's no security at all. Blah 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 blah. Republicans drafted a bill to address that, and that's exactly what that bill did. Trump said, "Hey, don't pass this because it's going to help my political opponents."
Okay, and as I'm answering you, there are lots of things that could have been passed that would have been beneficial to the left and not the right, but maybe would have been closing some of the border. And closing some of it would not have closed all of it.
If you close some of it, does that make something? If something is open and you're saying because it's open, there's no security at all, it's causing all this damage, and you close some of it, is that making things safer?
It could, but it wouldn't be as safe as shutting it entirely.
Is making it safer. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Has Trump deported? Trump said he was going to deport. Well, in 2015, he said there was 30 or so million illegal immigrants in the country.
Sure. And then he would get as many out as he could.
No, that's not what he was saying, because during the campaign cycle, they said they were going to deport everybody. And then during the vice president debates, they asked J.D. Vance that question. He was like, well, let's not focus on all of them. Let's just focus on the 1 million violent criminals. They've been in over a year and a half now. Have they only focused on violent criminals, or does it seem like they're focused on pretty much anybody? And 2, has he backtracked? And 3, how many people has he actually deported?
As I understand it, we have net negative immigration at this point. We have less people coming in.
I didn't ask about immigration. I said illegal. I said deportation of illegal immigrants. Does it match up to what they? Does it match up to what they said during the campaign cycle?
I don't. The conversation's ridiculous because they have been in the way of deporting people. You and I have had this conversation.
They deported less people than Obama.
That's crazy.
That's not
But here's
true.
what I'm saying. You're making an argument based on something that you've argued against. You're saying that they had, again, the Democrats and the stop people from being deported. And then you're like, what, did you deport as many people? Bro, you're too smart for that dumbass conversation. If people are stopping deportations, how could you deport the same amount of people, i.e. stopping it, whenever you're not letting those deportations happen? You made that argument before, bro. Like, what the hell?
I think what he's saying is, under Democrats, if it was true that there were more deportations, more forced deportations under the Democrats than the Republicans, that would be because everyone was supporting the idea of deportation. Now, when the right is doing it, the left is fighting against it tooth and nail. They're not reporting people's immigration status on their court transcripts to the FBI. They're not passing up that information to ICE. They're blocking deportations.
Does that have anything to do with Trump saying, "Hey, we're just going to deport you to random countries, including El Salvador, where they have essentially you're living in a M prison"?
That goalpost is super heavy.
It's not. It's not.
Honestly, if you're out of the border, it's on you where you go.
Does that have something to do with it?
I mean, if you're outside the border, that's on you where you go.
We're on the same page. So could that be in a retaliation or in a response to doing something as inhumane as deporting random people?
I don't think they were supporting it before he did that either.
I don't think they were. That's fine. There's a difference between not.
Right. So then it wasn't in retaliation for that. It was before that.
I asked you 3 questions. You didn't answer any of the 3. 2.
That was my answer.
No, because
they were doing it prior. The left was doing it prior to that.
I asked you, did he backtrack? I asked you, has he done what he said he was going to do, which is deport all illegal immigrants, not just a handful of them?
No, he says wild stuff, and then he does what he's capable of.
Okay, so he hasn't. So he's backtracked. Has he backtracked? Yes or no?
There's what you want and what you can get.
Has he backtracked? Yes or no?
He's compromised. He's compromised.
Has he backtracked? Yes or no?
No, do not bend on that. That's not backtracking by definition.
I didn't say anything about what you said was backtracking. I'm asking you, has he backtracked? Yes or no?
That is not backtracking.
As he said,
I would not describe it as backtracking.
No, he hasn't backtracked. So when he came out and after he was doing all those deportations and all that stuff, and it was going south and all that good stuff. And when he came out and said, "Hey, you know what? These illegal immigrants that are here that I said I was going to deport during the campaign rally, I said I was going to get rid of all of them. Actually, some of them should be able to say, we need to figure out some type of work visa situation." Is that not backtracking?
And then he cut the work visas in half.
Is that backtracking?
No, because he didn't cut the work visas in half.
When he was during the campaign rally, did he ever say, "Hey, we're going to get these illegal immigrants work visas"? Did he say that during the campaign rally, or did he say we're going to deport all of them?
Deport all of the dangerous illegal immigrants?
No, he didn't just say no. He didn't say dangerous. He said all of them.
I don't know that he ever said every single illegal immigrant in the country would be deported.
So
but even if he did, I would still support it. But even if he did, I would still support it.
He said what? He said what?
He said he's going to deport all illegal immigrants, and even went further by saying the fact that they entered the country illegally is a crime.
Yes, and he also said their families, but we don't even have to get into that.
And I would agree with that.
So did he? I don't care what you would agree with. Did he backtrack? Did he run during his campaign cycle? Did he run on giving illegal immigrants work visas while they were in the country so they could keep working, or did he run on deporting all?
No,
of them?
he ran on what he wanted to happen.
So did he run on deporting all of them, or did he run on giving them?
Sure, he ran on deporting all of them, but that's what he wants, not what he's capable of.
So is he now talking? Well, actually, it's been like a year now. Has he been talking about giving them more visas, giving them temporary work visas because we can't deport all of them?
Because the left will not support the deportation of all of them.
He didn't say because the left's not letting us deport them. He said because we need them.
Hold on, that's because the Supreme Court case.
Of course you don't know because
the Supreme Court case stood on it.
You are pathetic.
What the fuck are you talking about? The Supreme Court literally prohibited him from doing it.
That's what I keep trying to say.
They released thousands of people.
What
you want versus what you can do are two different things. Like what you're legally allowed to do and what you want to do, what your goal is and what your achievement is.
Again, you always, like I said, this is why you're a maggot, right? You're a Trump apologist. No matter what he does, you find an excuse for him. The Supreme Court case, whichever one you're talking about, was not quoted by Trump when he was talking to people saying, hey, we need them, because people aren't taking the jobs. That's why he said we need them. People aren't taking the jobs.
You mean when they were talking about the orange farms in Florida, right?
I don't know. I think it was in the north, but whatever.
Right. Because it happened immediately after that. Because they released thousands of people from ICE immigration facilities.
What happened?
By saying that the moments he was talking about what he was going to do with the visas for people who are working in farms. I actually agree with you. I think he backtracked at that point.
Okay, thank you. Because Shadow, respectfully, I've heard you say, yeah, I don't agree with Trump on those things, and yeah, he did this. I've heard you. This dude doesn't. He is literally, he's on his hands and knees for Trump. Like, he can't get enough.
I mean, you're really going wild with the ad hominems, but I literally have not said that. I've said I feel that all illegal immigrants should be gone. Yes.
Tell by your mannerisms and your behavior. You honestly thought that you could get someone. How do you know I voted for Trump? Who said I voted for Trump? That's how stupid you are. Like,
no, I'm just going. You're saying things that you don't know to be true.
You don't have to say that. That's not a gotcha. We already know you voted for Trump. Me assuming you voted for Trump is the right thing to do. Me to think that you didn't vote for Trump would mean I'm stupid. If I were to this guy, I don't know who he voted for. The guy over here gurgling his shit, I don't know who he voted for though. I'd be stupid. The fact that you thought that it's hard to see who you voted for is pathetic.
Maybe I should have clarified. In the primary, I certainly didn't vote for Trump. Given the choice between Trump and a liberal, I chose Trump. That is not the same thing as what I wish would happen.
Okay, buddy.
When given a binary choice, I chose. Are you saying that you voted for Kamala Harris?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cool. Do you think we'd be in a better situation with the border under 100%. Her?
Oh, I don't know about
You're
the border.
Nuts.
I don't know about the border, but overall, yes. Kamala would have won, and Kamala would have won, and we would have a red Congress. So none of that bullshit that people try to doomsay about, like, oh, those super progressives on the left side, they're going to be super radical and get rid of your 2A and all that shit. Even though Supreme Court's been very staunchly 2A this term. Very strong.
Definitely. And I really support that. You're right.
So you have a president that would have been going up against a very conservative / Republican Supreme Court and a very red Congress. She wouldn't have been able to do any of that radical leftist shit that you guys like to bitch about. And it would have been a gridlock.
Who put the Supreme Court?
It would have been a gridlock and compromise.
Who put those Supreme Court justices in?
Or Republicans passing things over her.
Who put those Supreme Court justices in?
The conservatives during Trump's first term.
Right. So under Trump.
Yeah, but yeah, because I agree.
Right. I'm just saying, like, without Trump, first Trump.
He had conservatives during his first term. He doesn't have that.
And I would go so far as to agree with you. I would go so far as to agree with you that the Trump the first time was better than the Trump the second time.
Doesn't change anything.
But it doesn't mean that.
But it's obvious it wasn't going to be like that, because all those conservatives, the ones that were lifelong Republicans, lifelong conservatives, the ones that put their lives on the line, like General Mattis, right? The ones that had been through it all, said that he was a piece of shit, said that he tries to divide America, said, hey, don't vote for this guy. He shouldn't be near the presidential office ever again. And you guys still voted for him, right? So this is like, not only are Trump, it's hard to find maggots with integrity. I haven't found one yet. I know there's probably some out there. I haven't found them yet. But you guys are also stupid. And that's a terrible combination. Because the fact that all of this secretary members, his cabinet members rather, the secretary, General Mattis, all these people putting out blog posts saying, hey, this dude divides America, and you guys then vote for him in 2024 in 2024 and go, well, I didn't know he was going to do the things that he did. How was I supposed to know he was going to be like this? How was I supposed to know this, man? It's just, I don't know if you believe in on bullshit.
We didn't know he was going to put us at another war. To be fair, we didn't know he was going to throw us at another war.
He hit Iran during his first term.
Hold on. Okay. So
and did hitting Iran during the first term lead to a war?
Yeah, no, but it led because he backed out.
Has hit somebody.
No.
So
No.
let's
What is that?
restart. I'm
Okay,
going to
but
be very
that's what he
specific about
ran
what
on.
I said.
That's what he ran on.
Yeah, he made 4 years without hitting somebody. That's something no other president has done.
No, he didn't go 4 years without hitting. What are you talking
Sure,
about?
he did.
No, he definitely hit somebody. He hit
He hit
somebody in
multiple
Trump
people.
one too. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I meant to say war-wise, but okay, fine. Yeah.
What are you talking
Attacks,
about? Then
sure.
Obama didn't start any wars either. What are you talking about? Biden and Obama, neither of them hit anybody since no wars were started under either of them.
They were in wars.
What? You just
There were wars actively being done under them.
They didn't start the war, you idiot.
Okay.
That wasn't a strong point because he's not wrong. If the war was started under Bush, which everybody can see to, then every time they struck somebody while president, they were still enforcing the war. So they were still part of that war.
Yeah. All right.
So I mean, AR is right on that. He gets them every now and then.
I'm not even arguing from a position of strength here. I'm simply saying,
he was going to go back on his word. He's a known con man that cares more about getting money than anything else. And you guys are like, how was I supposed to know he would be bought out by the highest bidder? How was I supposed to know that? I thought he was really for the people. I thought this dude that's a failure in his peer group. I thought this dude that's a failure in his own peer group was really going to be able to succeed.
I mean, by the same argument,
the truth when I thought he has a history of lying. I thought he was telling the truth this time to me. I thought he really cared about me. You know, Mr. Flip Flop, Mr. I don't know anything about the Constitution. I don't know anything about religion. I thought he was telling the truth when he said he was a Christian and he cares about the Constitution.
That's the best con man. A man who can lie to you to your face and you still believe him.
Nobody believes him other than slow people.
You been trying to convince us of shit you know that's not true.
So
no.
Go ahead. All right, so go ahead, Justin B. Say your piece.
I was good with it. I mean,
What's like the taste out of your mouth? I'd like to see it.
They done paid $20 to drop you. They said, hold on, let me see what it says. Hold on. It says, Peasy ain't going with the 20 ball. Make the live stream great again. Put his ass on timeout. So it's $20 for you to come back, Justin. Maybe somebody in the chat or yourself. You can hit the $20 super chat. Lord.
I don't know how you do it, man.
Shout out to Peasy. Peasy said he had enough. Oh, shit.
I don't get it. These people are so pathetic, man. Oh, you're a Ravenclaw? I just saw a Shadow shirt. You're muted.
Hogwarts?
All right, it's Hogwarts.
Yes, I'm a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Goddamn. Welcome back to the show. Kulu.
What's up, Kulu? All right.
That's Slytherin.
Yeah, I'm Slytherin too.
Shadow. Kamala literally.
I can't hear. Hey, Kulu. Can y'all hear me or am I lagging?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is Kulu lagging? I heard him say shadow, but I didn't.
You can hear me?
Hey, Kulu, are you talking?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you.
Shadow,
now.
literally. Yes. So Kamala literally predicted and told y'all Trump was going to get y'all into a war with Iran as she was running her campaign. She literally warned about Trump having a war, like when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, how Putin would manipulate Trump. We've seen that take place. I mean, like Kamala predicted a lot of the stuff that's taking place today. She predicted on her campaign trail. And yes, America would be better.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't admitted to being wrong on that one.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you admitted to be wrong, but you said, "Oh, who would have known that Trump would have gone?" As Kamala Lily predicted it. I mean, this was basic. It's geopolitics that they were talking about, man. that they knew Trump was going to get in and get in the war. They knew Trump was going to be controlled by Russia. They knew Trump was going to be controlled by the small hats. Like they've been saying this for years. They've been knew the plans were going to fail. Like they've been knew all of his plans were going to be even have a concept of a plan for healthcare.
No, he had concepts of a plan. He had concepts of a plan for healthcare.
But they knew he was going to do the little like the big beautiful bill. They knew they were going to give tax to the rich. Everything that Trump has done, the Democrats really predicted that he was going to do. And that's why they kept asking, like JD Vance and Trump, when y'all say mass deportations, what's it going to be like going door to door? And JD Vance couldn't answer that question. And I think that's the problem, is that if Trump would have done it the Obama way, smooth, concise, knew exactly where people were going to be, instead of doing the whole out going through neighborhoods, Home Depot, things like that, then maybe more people would be supportive of what's happening. But it's the way
to be fair, Obama was Obama. Like, nobody can do things as cool as Obama. So, to be fair, that's setting a really high bar.
Yeah, but that's my problem.
You don't gotta hold the mic, by the way, Shadow. We can hear you.
So yes, AR stuff on it too. It's like y'all know everything negative about what happened? Like y'all know everything negative about the Democrats, but whenever we call Trump out or something that happened in the Republican Party, it's all of a sudden.
Did he break up or did I?
Yeah, he broke. You could try to answer him while he get reception back.
Hey, Sharon, quick question on the DJI. The button, when I hit the power button, is that the sound cancellation button?
That's the power button.
All right, Sharon.
I don't know what you want me to say about that. That must be one of those that must be one of those MAGA questions that AR is talking about.
Y'all niggas ain't shit. So on the DJI, there's a second, you can hit the power button a second time, and it says sound cancellation, but I didn't know if you or Uda did it. Uda's not here, so I couldn't ask him. And y'all advised me to it, so just hope for some positive advice. But nah, y'all gotta be Nicholas.
Yeah, I don't be pressing buttons. I just I just talk.
And that is why Christianity took over the world, because people don't push buttons.
Christianity did not take over America, at least not yet. And you don't want it to, right? According to the Constitution, you don't want it to take over.
That's true.
That's a big
consider the fact that my Constitution comes from God first. I'm okay with that. Look, I love the American Constitution. Look, I love the American Constitution. But I'll follow the commandments first. As long as the Constitution does not contradict the commandments.
Do you eat pork, Shadow?
Huh?
Do you eat pork?
Do I eat pork? Yes, but that's also not in the commandments.
Because it is in your Bible not to eat it.
Is it in the 10 Commandments?
What's the difference?
Here's what the difference is. The 10 Commandments are laws that were specifically written. Everything else was written by guidance. And it should explain how to do it. And a lot of it is actually Old Testament.
So let me make sure I understand. So you saying if it ain't part of the 10 Commandments, it's like, maybe you could skip this one, you could skip that one.
If it ain't part of the 10 Commandments, it's a suggestion.
Interesting.
Wow, that is wild.
So is this a suggestion because humans heard it from God and then they wrote it down and they might have got it wrong?
Yes.
He definitely.
Okay, so you can't trust anything in the Bible. How do you know the 10 Commandments?
Because there were 10 initial commandments, and
but how
these
do you
are
know
just
that?
re-recorded.
Because the Bible is written by humans. So how do you know that if you can't trust what they said because they might have got it wrong? How do you know that they wrote that correctly? Maybe there was 12 commandments.
Sometimes you just gotta
That
have
was
faith, AR.
Oh, okay, I
that
got you.
was crazy.
All right,
How many
buddy.
commandments? How many commandments are there? Shadow.
10 plus 4 subs.
It's 613 of them.
I don't believe that.
Oh shit.
So does it have to be from? Does it have to be from? Not Noah, Moses. Does it have to be the 10 from Moses for it to be a commandment, or does anything in the Bible that says this is a commandment, does that make it a commandment?
You know what? That's a really good question. I actually like that question. So Moses' commandments are God's law, but anything that was commanded would by definition be a commandment. So I don't think there's 617, but
Okay, but if
613.
13.
if people are writing it down, they're writing it down, and it's in the Bible, it's commanded by God, no?
No.
By definition of
I
being in the
disagree.
Bible, because the Bible is,
I disagree
is
with
God's
that.
word. Okay.
Josh, how do you know Moses wasn't having sex with hoes? You know, doing all types of drugs.
Oh shit. That was
That's what blows my
crazy.
mind. Like, y'all really don't know what these people be doing in their lives, but y'all are believing every word that they put in the Bible like it's gospel, bro. Like, and that's what blows my mind about the whole situation. Like, y'all claim to be Christians and all these things, but y'all follow people that aren't Christians. Like, Trump is not a Christian, bro. How he cheated on his wives, how Elon Musk has all those kids with all the different baby mamas, Andrew Tate, all these guys, bro, that y'all support as part of y'all's movement are not.
Say I support Andrew Tate.
No, I didn't say you. I said like people that y'all party
Yeah,
with.
I live you, homie.
Hey, all I know, my man Kulu said Moses was up there smoking Ferguson's and Myrrh, talking to the burning bush, like hoes mad. Hoes mad.
Yeah, like you might think about Jesus
Hey,
too.
God, how can we control these hoes, man?
How do you know Jesus is smashing? Like they only tell a little bit of Jesus' childhood, but they leave out his preteen, his teenage, his young adult life. Like y'all can't tell me Jesus wasn't smashing on hoes back in Egypt. Come on, man. Like, and that's
He
my
was the
problem.
original Michael Jackson, huh? He's the original Michael Jackson. He said, fuck a moonwalk, I'm walking on water. Let me show y'all.
Yeah, but they do that purposely to make Jesus a perfect figure, because if he wasn't perfect, then the message wouldn't be as powerful as it was, right? So they leave out his whole entire life because, obviously, and I'm bringing it always up, right? When Jesus was at the, he was at the temple doing like a little event with his parents. They spent like 2 days there. The parents left thinking that Jesus was there with them, and they find out that he actually stayed behind and was continuing to worship and do ceremonies, like ceremonies and things like that. So Jesus was disobeying his parents right off the get-go when he was a teenager. You know what I mean? So he wasn't perfect. Like, you can't tell me Jesus didn't pee in his diaper, like he wasn't causing Mary to have a headache, he wasn't fighting with his brothers, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like,
well, there's a big gap between when he was a kid versus, and then it don't come back until he's like 33. So you got about.
I'm telling you, Jesus was fucking.
I'm
my bad.
Unaccounted for time.
Yeah, Jesus was having sex, man. He was doing his thing.
That's crazy.
I living a young adult life.
That was crazy.
That was wild. He was besties with a prostitute. I'm just saying, yesterday you guys was talking about rumors where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, we ain't gotta explain, you gotta see it in video evidence, 4K HD type shit. I'm just saying he was besties with a prostitute. Now, the only person on this panel that I know has been besties with a prostitute was a pimp. And they ended up being more than just besties, respectfully. And so I'm just saying, it just sounds like.
Hey, look, he was just going through some things because he found out Joseph wasn't his real daddy. That's all.
God did sexually assault Mary.
Oh Lord.
Respectfully.
That is insane.
Is that not what that is? If you impregnate a woman without her consent, what is that?
Yeah, and you're an all-knowing being too. Like, you're like millions of years old.
I'm respectfully. I'm just asking. Don't smite me. I'm just asking a question. If you impregnate a woman without her consent,
smite your ass. Somebody
I'm just asking the question.
Somebody come and smite AR with $20. That was crazy.
They are. Mary was a woman. She was a child.
In that $20 bubble, answer what if you impregnate a woman without her consent, what does that make you?
Yeah, that's
That was
assault.
wild.
Yo, wait, what did AR just say?
You heard him? He saying some wild crap right now.
No, hey, I'm gonna need you to repeat that, AR.
What I said, if you
Ask him
impregnate a woman
again,
without her
y'all.
consent, what does that mean? What does that make you? I'm sorry.
Hold on, let me look up the definition.
All right, I'll go ahead and send that $20 over.
Yeah, $20 get you that.
He ain't slick.
But didn't God tell Mary that
Look at
she
this.
was gonna have
A pimp protecting pimps. Ain't no surprise here, man.
Oh shit! That was wild. He doing that shit with a smile on his face too. He got a big Kool-Aid smile on.
Kool-Aid smile.
That is the funniest one ever.
But these are questions they never asked, Sharon. Like they never answer or have rebuttal. Like,
oh, that is a good. Kulu, real quick. Cody asked a good question. Is it a degenerate thing to impregnate a woman without her consent?
Slap the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
Right. With a big Kool-Aid smile, he did that shit. Shout out the time out. What do NA stand for? Not available.
It means he's not available for this conversation.
Sheesh. That was crazy though. I ain't gonna load you.
Shadow, you gonna have to drop
hold
you because I have the same beliefs as him.
Damn.
Why didn't God give Mary a choice?
What?
Hey, hold up.
Shadow. Why didn't God give Mary a choice to have Jesus? Why did he force her?
Whoa, hold up. No, we're not gonna do that.
And why was she a child?
Yo, sir.
I mean, he could have.
I'm gonna need you to fix your rhetoric.
No, I mean, I want to answer. You know, God could have created. He created human beings. Why did he create a badass 22-year-old with with a fat ass to impregnate? But why did he impregnate a minor that was already married or a fiance to? So he's committing adultery. You can't tell me Joseph didn't think in the back of his mind about what happened.
Hey, Easy, you ain't never support the show. You could have support the show. You could have kept him up. Y'all always be crying. Y'all did. Y'all killed you. You could have did something about it. Always crying.
I mean, they still can. You could bring him back and bounty me. $40.
They just be trying to find any reason to complain. It don't matter what I say. I man, the sky blue say, oh boy, Sharon always want to tell the truth about the sky being blue. Like, we don't know. It was always like that. You in a place? They said the Bible does not say the exact age.
I don't think
But they do. But they do say it was around between 12 and 16 she was preggo. Damn, that's crazy though. God damn. Uh-oh. Look, they talking about the sky actually is in blue now. That's just a reflection now. God damn. That sky blue. I don't care what psycho
That's technically true.
What? That the sky is blue?
The sky is technically not blue.
So what color is it?
It's reflective water.
That's bullshit.
So it reflects the ocean.
Bullshit. That's
Hold on,
bullshit.
Sharon. Is water wet?
If you're a human being, yes. If you're a fish, no.
Wait, but water can't be wet. Because water is the thing that gives the property of wetness.
No, I'm pretty sure if we was to you don't even know how to play no Pac-Man, so I don't even know why you been acting
Stop it.
like I don't even know. You don't even know how to play no Pac-Man.
I
So
love plot machines.
I believe if they take a picture of our planet, it shines blue. And that ain't reflecting no goddamn water. That is the color of our sky, goddamn it. It's blue. The hell y'all talking about? Y'all be tripping.
It's because the water is blue.
The water is definitely not blue. Have you ever scooped up some water and the water was actually blue? The water is not blue. Y'all gotta twist it. The water is actually clear and the sky is blue. Y'all be tripping. What? The sky is blue and the water is clear. What the hell? The sky is the water's reflecting the damn sky. God damn it. I ain't never went to the ocean and scooped up some water and was like, you know what, this water is blue. Y'all be tripping. Why y'all be tripping like that?
Sharon, don't hurt him, Sharon. You about to overload him, Sharon. Sharon, don't hurt him up here.
Crazy. That was crazy. My man Psycho said the sky is blue. The sky is clear, but the water is blue.
That's
No, I didn't say that. I said the water is clear, but when it comes to the water, the water is comes off as blue because it has certain particles in the water that has a blue tint.
No, it doesn't. It's a mirror to the sky. He's right. It is a mirror.
Bro, can I just talk? I get because I do.
Right. Let me let you lie. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I can source up. I ain't just talking. I can pull up the information.
Why you see yourself when you look in the water?
Right. Well, let me finish talking. Then you can ask whatever questions you want. Now it has little particles in the water that gives off a blue tint, which makes the water look blue when it's all jumbled up together, like in the ocean and everything else from the sky, right? That because the water has a blue tint, but it's technically like it's clear with a bluish tint, but the sky itself is clear because I live in Jersey. It's overcast today. When I look up at the sky, it's not blue right now.
What color is it?
It's gray.
Okay,
and then at nighttime, on a clear night, when you look up at the sky, is it blue?
So we understand that the sky could be multiple colors. But the rule is majority of the time. We're not saying on a thundery day the sky is blue. That's not our argument. Our argument is the sun is literally causing the water to reflect what it sees. This is when we look into the water, you typically see your reflection. If you ever been in front of clear water, the water actually turns into a mirror. And what happens is mirroring the sky is why we believe that the water is blue. That's a factual.
That's not true.
That's science.
No, do you know how the sky? Do you know why the sky looks blue?
No, it's not because you just said it wasn't blue. And now you about to argue that it looked blue.
I'm asking a question. Do you know why the sky looks blue?
Yes, but you arguing that it's not blue.
Let's peel back the onion on that. Why does it look blue?
Hold on, but no. Can you acknowledge that you're about?
Why you just said you know why? You just said you know why. Explain to the people.
We can't go down that road, but
don't know. For the people that don't know, let's peel back the onion on this. For the people that don't know, tell everybody why the sky looks blue.
Can we first say that you can see that you believe that the sky looks blue?
Yes, it looks blue. Now, can you explain why that is?
All right, hello. So now, hello, we're going to get them to answer all your questions.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
So if that's the case, do we agree that the water is a mirror?
Why are you answering my questions with a question? I'm asking. I asked you to explain You said, because I asked you, do you know? You said you know. So tell me and everybody else. I know. I was going to tell you if you didn't, but you said you know. So you explain to everybody why the sky looks blue. Go.
So the reason the sky look blue is because of the blue light. The lighting makes it look blue, like the small waves and the direction of the tint is what causes it to have a blue, a blue,
Hue.
like
Kind of, sort
Refraction.
of.
hello.
It's dust particles. It's dust. I'll put it further detail. It's dust particles in the atmosphere, right? Now, when the light comes in, the light works in certain spectrums, right? Certain spectrums that light works under. And when it's like a prism, right? You know, a prism has like a rainbow colors and everything else. Now, when the light comes in, it's coming in multicolored. But because of the dust particles bouncing around in the atmosphere, like you were just mentioning, the only light that comes through is the blue light. So that's what makes the sky look blue. But technically, the sky is not blue.
I could know if the sky look blue. Hold on, now I answered your question. If the sky look blue and the water mirrors the sky, when we believe that the reason the water is looking blue because it's a mirror.
That's not. I wish you would just Google this. I could Google it for you and show you. But no, that's not the full answer. Like I said, water has a blue tint to it. It has a blue tint to it. When you jumble it all up together, this blue tint starts looking like a darker blue.
So when I go to Fiji,
that's why it only looks blue in the ocean. That's why it only looks blue. If you go in a puddle, if you have a puddle of water in front of your place or whatever, that puddle of water is not going to look blue because not enough water to gather up.
Go ahead. So, Psycho, why does the ocean have a blue tint?
Oh, it's minerals and stuff like that gives it a blue tint. It's the
same. It's the same thing with the sky. It's the same thing. It's the refraction. It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Well, with water, I told you in water. That's why it's only the ocean that looks blue because it got to be a large body of water because of the blue tint in the water.
But it's not blue tint though. It's not a blue tint. It appears blue to us, just like how a tiger is orange and black to us, but to other animals is green and black. It's just blue to us.
No, I know that's perception, but that's not true. That's not true. Why is it? Like you mentioned earlier.
If I was to Google, is the ocean is blue? It would say yes. And if I Google, is the sky is blue? It would say yes. On my wrong?
Right. What happened?
If I Google, is the sky blue? Would it say yes?
It depends on what site you're getting it from. If it's a scientific site, it'll tell you no.
What?
Depends on where you go. Yeah, science is not going to tell you. It's going to tell you it looks that way, but that's not what it actually is. They're going to say the same thing I tell you. It's going to break down why
the sky looks that way. I had a long argument about this. I Googled it. Even at nighttime, the sky is still considered blue.
Why at sunset? Then why at sunset does the sky look orangey red at sunset? If it's just a reflection off the water, it should still be blue. I know
that's crazy. That's just crazy.
I'm just telling you. I'm explaining to you why.
So when the sky is gray, what color is the water?
The water. It depends. Like the water could look gray. The water could look gray because of a reflection, whatever. But
thank you. So when the sky is gray, the water looks gray. It ain't blue anymore all of a sudden. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Listen, I think
being honest.
It's deeper than what you're saying, like. Because I know the perception is that the water is reflecting off of the sky. That's partially true, like I said in the beginning. But I said the real reason why is because of the minerals in the water that's giving off a blue tint. That's what's really causing it more than anything.
Oh my goodness! Finally, you're talking about water this and is water wet? Like,
That's
what are we
right.
doing right
what
now?
color is the sky, AR? What color is the goddamn sky?
We can get into that
The
too.
sky,
we can cook
if I'm
on
not
that
mistaken, the sky is blue because something about the light or the colors that get like the wavelength and all that stuff hits
That's
the
what I
Earth's
just said.
atmosphere.
Ray light.
That's
It's
why I
called
just
Ray.
said. That's
It's
why it
called
looks
Ray
blue.
Leah.
That's
It's
why
called
it
Ray
looks
Leah
blue.
scattering.
Okay, and
Right.
so,
Ray
That's
so
why
if
Leah
it looks blue,
scattering.
it's
Right.
blue. That's like saying my car's not white because I see it as white. But if we could see more
No,
of the
it's
wavelength, then it
clear.
wouldn't be white. It would be some other color.
How come
Like,
it's
no, it's
not blue
blue
at night?
because
How come
humans
it's not
see
blue at night? How
whatever.
come it's not
I don't
blue
even
at
bro.
sunset?
It
I
is
don't
blue
How
at
come
night.
because
it's
the
not
sun's
blue
not
right now
shining
when
at
it's
night. What do you mean? The
overcast?
sun's not shining at
It
night. You're
is
asking me
blue
why is
at
this
night.
whatever. Anyway,
It's dark blue
Right.
at
Right. Oh,
night.
wait, the
It's
sun.
dark
Wait,
blue.
the
hold on.
sun.
Getting back.
So
Getting back.
So
Now,
so
when
if
it,
it's got to
oh
do
my
with the
God.
sun, if it got to do with the sun, then the sky. That means the sky is not no certain color. If it's dependent
Okay.
on the sun.
So
What are we talking about?
getting into the water thing. You can't say that the main reason that the water is blue is because of some minerals in the water, but then also say it turns
true.
gray when the sky is gray. That would mean that the sky has more of a say in the color that the water looks to you than anything
The
else.
minerals.
I got
Because
you.
if the minerals were the dominant reason it looked blue, then it wouldn't matter what color the sky or whether it was cloudy out or not. The ocean would still look like the ocean or close to that blue of the ocean it normally looks. But because it looks gray when there's clouds out, that means that it's more of a reflector and showing you a reflection of the sky and the color of the sky than it is the minerals in the water.
I'm telling you, it's the same thing. It's the same dynamic with the sky. It's the same dynamic with the sky.
Are you saying that
Well,
the
they say
sky
the
is
water. They say
reflecting
the
the
waters
water?
above is the waters below. That's what it says in the Bible. Waters above and waters below. All this shit is water. Air is just lighter water. That's all air is.
Well, I mean, we're 70%
Ain't
water,
nothing
so I
but.
guess what are we then?
I mean, we ain't nothing but light. We ain't. This is breathing light water. That's all.
Could somebody share my screen real quick? Because I'm not going to just argue with
You
people's
look, but
opinions.
sir, when you look up something scientific, it can say something, but that doesn't
Why you
mean
try
that
to
it's
criticize
applicable.
me? Like I said, I'm not going to argue with people's opinions.
There you
Ocean
go.
water has an
That's the
actual
reason.
blue tint.
That's
Right? I don't
fine. It
even know
can
if I
have a
shared
blue
it.
tint. It can naturally have a blue tint. That
Right,
doesn't
and that's
mean
what I
that.
said.
How many times are you gonna say it? We heard you say it the
Why
first
y'all
16
challenge me when I
times.
said it?
Because you don't know this. You don't know what you're talking about well enough to explain it to a 5-year-old, so you shouldn't repeat it. What we're saying is.
So what do
that
you?
can't-
So you break it down because you don't know nothing either. What do you say?
I try to break it. What are you
Okay,
talking
break
about?
it
I broke
down.
it down.
Break it down.
Okay, so again,
Scientifically to me, break it
as
down.
far as I'm aware.
Wait.
I'm not-
As far
I'm
as you're
not
aware, I thought you
I'm
said
not
said
sitting
you know.
here because you
You
just
said
keep
you
on
could break
repeating
it
the
down
same.
to a 5-year-old. Now you said, oh, go ahead.
I never said
go
I
ahead.
could break it down to a 5-year-old. I'm not a scientist.
Well, you said you can't
What
break
we
it
are
down like a
saying
5-year-old.
is
You
if
shouldn't
you
speak on it, but yet you're speaking on it, and you can't break it down to a 5-year-old.
Psycho,
Stop playing with me,
you
dog.
want Psycho, you want a monologue? Or are you gonna ask a
No, you
question
want to
want
talk
answer?
shit. You want to say little slick shit by doing the same slick shit that you accusing me of doing.
No, what I'm saying, because everybody is telling you one thing and you just keep on repeating the same shit that you saw in AI. We understand what you were saying. You don't have to keep on repeating yourself.
Because
We
there
don't
are
care.
fewer particles and nutrients to interfere with the light.
He still don't get it.
No, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
So now do
I'm
the
telling
same
you
thing
what
with the
is-
sky. Do the same thing with the sky. Be honest and do the same thing with the sky.
Okay, I told you what the sky was. It's particles in the ozone and the light spectrum only is allowing the blue light to come through.
The same thing that the water is, but it's the same thing that the water is saying. But it's the same thing. It say the exact same thing for the sky as for the water. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but water has
Same one.
What happened?
Same person.
Oh, what did I
So
do?
that's
This is racist.
What you mean, AR? What you say, AR? Who's racist?
Along with any outsiders? Yeah,
Slap the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see you try.
Okay, cool. I'm a racist. If I'm a racist, cool. I'm a racist. I'll be a racist, whatever. I'll be a proud racist.
But it say the same
I
thing
don't know how
for
me
the, but
talking
it say
about
the
the sky
same thing
being
for
cool
the
make you
sky.
racist, but okay.
But it say the